A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Peary as The Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, since all of you homemakers are extra busy these days with your victory gardens, first aid classes, and so on, I want to tell you about the speedy way to make a favorite American main dish. With the thrifty product called Kraft Dinner, you can make delicious macaroni and cheese in just 7 minutes cooking time. In every package of Kraft Dinner, you get a quick cooking macaroni that needs no baking at all. Also, there's some Kraft Grated that puts the cheese goodness through and through the tender macaroni. You'll find Kraft Dinner a real lifesaver these busy days, so tomorrow, get several packages of it. Meet the mealtime emergencies at your house with Kraft Dinner's grand macaroni and cheese. Did you ever lend an organization your living room for a meeting and then find that you weren't invited to attend? Well, that's what's happening to Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. The Summerfield Little Theater Group is meeting to discuss plans for their summer barn season. And the Great Gildersleeve is out in the hall complaining to Bertie the cook, who had nothing to do with the matter.
Yes. It isn't as if they were anybody important, Bertie. After all, they're just going to put on a couple of stale dramas in somebody's barn.
But what's the idea of giving the plays in a barn, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Bertie, did you ever smell one of their plays? Oh, I guess they're all through.
Well, Uncle Lloyd, it's all arranged. We're going to have our summer theater in Mrs. Guernsey's stable.
Oh, well, but really, Mrs. Guernsey, don't you think this is the wrong time to go out of the livery stable business?
Mr. Gildersleeve, we are referring to an old carriage house on my estate.
Oh.
Livery stable, indeed.
Now, Mrs. Guernsey, mustn't turn up your nose at livery stables these days.
And this is Mr. Bruce Burdock, our director.
Charmed, simply charmed.
Bruce was with Orson Welles.
Oh, yes, one of the men from Mars, no doubt.
And this is Charlie Robertson.
Mr. Robertson, the pleasure is all mine.
No doubt. And now, we must start the ticket sale. Yeah. That means we must order oodles and oodles of tickets. Now, where does one get them?
Tickets? Oh, the best place I know is the World Ticket Printers of Chicago. Just mention my name.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. You seem quite familiar with these details.
Oh, yes, I've sent those people a lot of business. That was when I was a director of a well-known stage company.
You were? Well, in that case, I simply insist that you attend our first rehearsals and lend your professional touch.
But
Oh, no, I won't take no for an answer. We'll hold our next meeting here again on Tuesday. Come, boys, time to go. Goodbye.
Well, goodbye, folks. Well, I always knew I'd have a chance to monkey with the stage. My drama done told me.
But, Uncle Mort, I don't understand. Were you really a director of a well-known stage company once?
Why, of course, my dear. When I was out west, I was on the board of directors of one of the biggest bus lines in Arizona. Quiet, please. I think our first play should be something down to earth. Some show so simple that the most stupid person will understand. Understand?
Oh, yes, Uncle Mort.
I thought they would. Now, I just happened to dig up a beautifully written play that was a magnificent success at Princeton when I went there. In fact, the author had to take 22 curtain calls. My goodness, I couldn't straighten up for a week.
Well, what was the name of your play, Uncle?
Deep in the Heart of Maryland. Would anyone like to hear the plot? You would? Well, okay. Now, I'll play all the parts myself. The first act opens in the drawing room of ex-Governor Silsby's mansion, the Shingles. We discover an old Southern mammy, Auntie Freesia, as she speaks.
Well, here he is in the drawing room of ex-Governor Silsby's mansion, the Shingles. Things look mighty poorly for the old governor.
She's interrupted by her husband, Uncle Rufus. The two of them do a very comical song, and then Uncle Rufus speaks.
Yeah, Auntie Freesia, things do look mighty bad. And it's all on account of that no-account neighbor, Dalton Jackson, who holds the mortgage.
Then Auntie Freesia says,
Ain't it the truth? Sure looks like he's going to finally wind up with the shingles.
Then Dalton enters, a very mean character, lower than bunions on a snake. Dalton says, I brought these flowers for Miss Lavinia. Please inform her of my presence. Then he comes down to the footlights and whispers, little does the fair Lavinia suspect that I am a married man with a wife and 7 children in Altoona, PA. Lavinia, thinking that the visitor is another, trips into the room.
Oh, excuse me, she says. I didn't know it was you, Mr. Jackson.
Ah, my proud beauty. You thought I was that young whelp Crandall Berry, eh?
Oh, no, I didn't.
You did. I didn't. You did. You didn't. I did. You did. Did I? But I could go on like this for hours, folks. It's simply chock full of sparkling dialogue.
Oh, but really, old fellow, this isn't our type of play.
You're right, Brucey boy.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Brucey, old boy, you play Crandall Berry, the hero.
Oh, is that so?
You're shot right smack in the middle of Act Second. And really, you had no idea how I'm looking forward to your death scene.
Yeah. You know, Charlie, on second thought, maybe it isn't such a bad choice after all.
What was...
yes, and there's a fine part for you, Charlie. Will you wake up, please? You'll be ideal as Lavinia. Don't go to sleep during the rehearsal.
I didn't even hear you.
You'll be ideal as Lavinia's weak-willed, spineless brother, Sibley Silsby.
Oh, do you really think I'm the type, really?
Yes, really. But definitely, Charlie boy. Now, Marjorie, you can play Lavinia.
Oh, that should be fun.
Dolly Dobson from next door can play the ingenue, and I think we'll try Judge Hooker as ex-Governor Sibley. And the rest of the parts will be easy to catch.
All except the Southern Mammy. Are you going to play that role yourself?
Oh, no, I've got somebody. Bertie.
Oh, yes, sir?
Bertie, have you ever had any ambition to go on the stage?
Oh, undoubtedly.
Then we've got a nice fat part for you in our new show.
A fat part? On me, that look good.
No, Judge Hooker, that's terrible. All right, Bruce, give him his cue again.
Oh, all right. But, Governor Silsby, you don't understand.
I do understand, but the trouble is, you don't let me get a word in, Edgewise.
Judge, try to get it right, or else on opening night, Hooker will get the hook. Go on.
All right. My boy, I can remember when this plantation stretched as far as your eye could. See?
Oh, brother, of all the sugar-cured, tenderized, corn-fed hickory hams, you take the lima beans, Judge.
Well, how would you read that line?
Something like this.
I can remember when this here plantation stretched as far as your eye could see.
You see?
Well, that gives me an idea.
Yes, and it gives me an idea, too, Judge.
What's that, Gildy?
I think I'll play the part myself.
But what about me? I bought tickets for all my friends already.
Good. Now you'll be able to keep them.
What, the tickets?
No, your friends.
Well, in that case, I'm going to take all of my furniture out of Act 1 and go home.
I forgot to tell you, Judge. You've just been appointed stage manager.
Stage manager? What are my duties?
To get some decent-looking furniture for Act 1. All right. Call the cast, Leroy.
All right, everybody. On stage, please. Ready for dress rehearsal. On stage, please. Oh, Uncle Mort, I'm so excited. How's my makeup?
Oh, fine. Only don't blink those big eyelashes so fast, my dear. It sends a draft to the theater. Where's Charlie Robertson? Where's what's-his-name, the fellow who plays the villain?
Oh, you mean Mr. Updike? Haven't you heard what's happening to him?
No, Mrs. Jersey. What's happening to Mr. Updike?
Oh, his wife's having a baby. He had to rush her to the hospital.
A baby? He can't do this to me. What does he mean, having a baby at a time like this? I tell you, I simply won't have it.
But Uncle Mort, who's going to read his lines?
Of course, I know him, but I'm doing the governor already. But I could do 2 parts for the dress rehearsal. However, Mr. Updike better cut out these monkey shines and be here for the opening tomorrow night.
Ready, Uncle Mort?
Yes. Places, please. Oh, there you are, Charlie.
Yes, here I am, but I can't stay long.
Why not?
I've just been drafted.
Oh, my goodness, I was sure the Army would skip you. Well, the only thing we'll be able to do is open tomorrow night is the box office for refund.
I have a wonderful idea. Charlie played your younger brother, didn't he, Marjorie?
Yes.
Then why not have your younger brother take Charlie's place?
I can't. I've got the candy concession out in the audience between acts.
But, Leroy, you'll sell twice as much candy if the people can buy it from somebody in the cast. I know. When I was with Maxwell's comedians, I caused more broken hearts and decayed teeth than any other leading man in the tent show business.
Well, jeepers, I never thought of that. Okay, I'll do it.
Fine. Now we're all set. Let's get started. Where's Bertie?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Where's the fellow to play Uncle Rufus?
What fellow to play Uncle Rufus?
Mr. Gildersleeve, you never assign that part to anyone.
Great jumping jeeps. Do I have to do all the thinking around here? Do I have to do all the work myself?
No, but it looks like you'll have to play all the parts yourself.
You mean portray Uncle Rufus as well as Dalton Jackson the Menace and Governor Salsby the grandfather?
Well, you can try, Uncle Mort. You're a big enough man to play all three.
Marjorie, but how am I going to keep from bumping into myself coming in and going out? I'll be in a daze before the evening's over.
Yeah, Punk, it looks like this is going to be one of your bad dazes.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a moment. Meanwhile, let's give a thought to that chicken or roast out there in the icebox. There isn't quite enough left over from today's dinner for tomorrow's meal? Well, let me tell you how to stretch and glamorize what is left into a thrifty main dish. Cream the leftover meat and serve it in a delicious ring of macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese that you cook in just 7 minutes. You do it with a product called Kraft Dinner. In every box of Kraft Dinner, there's a special quick-cooking macaroni. Also, some Kraft grated that lets you put the cheese flavor through and through in a jiffy. Just 7 minutes at the stove, and you have fluffy, tender macaroni drenched in cheese goodness. For a smart macaroni ring, press the macaroni and cheese into a ring mold. Let it stand a few minutes, unmold on a platter, and pour your cream meat into the center. Delicious. Of course, you can serve Kraft Dinner just in a serving dish. The family will love the macaroni and cheese made this thrifty 7-minute way. So have some tomorrow. Ask your dealer for Kraft Dinner. And now back to the great Gildersleeve. It's the opening night of Deep in the Heart of Maryland, and Uncle Mort is still stuck with 3 parts. The audience is in their seats, the actors are in their places, to say nothing of a dither. The stage manager, Judge Hooker, is ready to pull up the curtain, and the overture begins.
Well, yeah, we is in the drawing room of old Governor Silver's home to shingle. And things looks mighty bad for the old governor. I wonder where my husband, Uncle Rufus the butler, is. Now, who can that be? Who's down and knocking at the door outside?
Well, who's you expecting? Them your joy and pride.
Now, I can hear you grumbling, Mr. Rufus Brown. Just keep on knocking, Ruf, you no-good clown.
Yeah, come on now, baby. Won't you let me in?
Has you been a gambling, honey? Did you win? What's that you mumbling?
I just lost my shirt.
Rufus, you gonna get hurt.
Oh, now, Sugarfoot, wait a minute now.
Rufus Baptist Johnson Brown. What you gonna do when the rent comes down?
What am I gonna say? How am I gonna pay?
What you gonna tell them at the FHA?
You know, I know that times are tough.
Landlord gonna take them off of their cup. Rufus Baptist Johnson Brown.
What are we gonna do when the rent comes round?
Rufus Baptist Johnson Brown. What you gonna do when the rent comes down?
What am I gonna say? How am I gonna pay?
What you gonna feel it up,
Now everything's unsettled now.
and my feelings is all unsettled now.
Rufus Rascal Johnson Brown. What are we gonna do when the rent comes
question is, what are we going to do when the mortgage comes around?
Well, I tell you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Rufus. Lessons Miss Benny married Mr. Dalton Jackson, we's going to be up against a stone wall.
Yeah, but she loves Crandall Berry, a poor but honest aristocrat. All this wouldn't have happened if Slibbly, Miss Benny's ne'er-do-well brother, hadn't lost the mortgage money playing acey-deucey with Dalton Jackson.
Yes, and this is what caused old governor to go into the relapses.
Here comes Miss Lavinia, the prettiest gal in Tewksbury Township. Morning, Miss Benny.
Morning to you, too. Alas, dark days are indeed upon us. One bright ray alone shines through the clouds that obscure the horizon.
Yeah, it did look like rain for a spell, but it's cleared up now.
No, Uncle Rufus. I'm referring to our beautiful coast, Shasta Gold, which we hope will come home with the mortgage money when she runs into Preakness next Saturday.
You mean Shasta Gold by Faster Shasta ought to go jump?
Yeah. The horse that you've been a-training ever since that night Mr. Crosby left him with us.
Hark! Do I hear the sound of horses' hoofs?
Yes, Ruth, that's Dalton Jackson. Come to call on Miss Benny.
He seemed to be in a hurry. Ruth, go out and hold his horses.
Yeah, Missy, I'm going.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, hurry. You'll have to play the villain after all.
But why, Mrs. Holstein? Where's Mr. Updike?
Oh, he couldn't come tonight either.
Last night he couldn't come because his wife was having a baby. What's it tonight?
Twins.
Quick, quick. Here's Dirty Dalton's coat and hat.
Boy, and is it dirty. How'll I ever get this burnt cork off, Leroy? Oh, I know. Hooker, lend me a clean handkerchief, will you?
Surely. Here you are, Gildy.
Thanks very much.
Hey, what's the idea?
Quiet, Judge. There's a show going on.
There you are, Mr. Gildersleeve. How soon do I go on?
Not for another hour, Dottie.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've been rehearsing my part for 2 weeks now, and I only hope I don't forget any of it.
How many lines have you got?
Oh, only one. I run out and say, "Oh, Lavinia, your grandfather, he's sinking again." Or maybe I should say, "Oh, Lavinia, your grandfather, he's sinking again."
Yes.
Hurry, Unc, they need you on stage. Marjorie's run out of dialogue, and she's stalling the audience.
Have I got all the black off my face, Leroy?
Yeah, but...
give me the plug hat. Here I come, Miss Jenny.
But jeepers, Unc, you forgot to take the burnt cork off your hands.
Oh, that's right. At last, Miss Biddy. Kindly excuse my hands. I've just been greasing my horse.
To whom are we indebted for this visit, Ma Jackson?
Miss Lavinia, are we alone?
Let me look. I feel a vague apprehension that the reddish glint in his eye bodes no good for me. Yes, we are alone, Master Jackson.
Good. At last, my sinister plans will bear fruit. I've been waiting for this moment. Now I have you in my clutches.
No, unhand me.
Bring those foul fingers from that fair form, you cur!
Tis Crandall Berry, the poor but honest young aristocrat. He whom I love.
Curses foiled again.
Be gone, blackguard, and remember, he who harms one hair of yon fair head must answer to Crandall Berry. Oh, thanks. Yes, he who harms one head of yon fair hair must answer to me.
I go now, my proud beauty, but I'll return on Saturday to foreclose the mortgage.
Here you are, Uncle, the ex-governor's costume. Come on, will you?
Thanks, Leroy. Now, give me the goatee and the white mustache and some glue, will you?
Say, now, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Not now, Dottie.
All right, but should I read it? Oh, Lavinia, your grandfather, he's sinking again?
No, Dottie. Now the wig, Leroy. Hold that mirror up. There. I gotta go now. My public waits.
Why, Vinny, you're crying.
I just can't help it, Grandpapa. I'm so unhappy.
Well, you come and sit down beside your grandpappy, and he'll all tell you a story to cheer you up.
Yes, Grandpapa.
This story took place when I was a young'un. That was when the plantation stretched as far as your eye could. See?
The stable hands must be enjoying themselves. Well, anyway, this is the story of Bessie. Bessie and me, we roamed the hills together. She adored me, and I guess I kind of loved her, too. For years, we were constant companions, until one day tragedy struck. Bessie stumbled in a gopher hole and broke her leg. There was nothing else to do but shoot poor Bessie. She's dead now, but there'll always be a warm spot in my heart for her.
Was Bessie your favorite horse, Grandpapa?
No, my child. Bessie was my first wife.
Oh, now tell me, Mr. Palin, how do you like the play?
Quite amusing. Some of the actors are excellent. I like the old man, Governor Silsby, and also the Uncle Rufus character. They're both fine actors. But that guy who's playing the villain, he's terrible.
Well, here we is at Shasta Gold stall at the racetrack on the afternoon of the big Freakness Handicap.
And if that's Shasta Gold, don't go today. We's gone tomorrow, that's all.
Oh, Uncle Ruth, great news. Crandallberry, my betrothed, has offered to ride our horse in the big race.
But, Miss Vinnie, has Mr. Crandall ever been a jockey before?
No. But Shasta Gold has never been ridden before, so they're both starting off even. Get him saddled.
Yeah, okay, I'll do this. Quick, Hooker. Hooker, help me get this makeup off, will you?
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, now?
No, Dottie, not now.
Well, now, supposing I say, well, Vinny, your grandfather is thinking again.
No, Dottie, not now.
Come on, Gildy. Crandall is waiting for you on stage.
Okay, give me the blank pistol, quick.
Here you are.
No, Unc, wait.
I haven't got time to wait, Leroy.
Jeepers, that wasn't a blank pistol. That was my .22.
Aha, Berry. So we meet again.
Yes, and to your sorrow, Dalton Jackson, for today I am riding Shasta Go in the Preakness.
What?
Yes, and you cringe at the thought of me winning not only the race, but also the fair Lavinia and her old homestead from your vile clutches. Ha, 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 ha.
Little does he know that I have a revolver in me pocket. And ere I let him thwart me evil plans, I'll wait till his back is turned and send a bullet through his manly bosom. Ah, now's my chance. Take that, Crandallberry.
Oh, I am shot. Oh, my goodness, I am shot!
Yeah, nice acting there.
Quick, get a doctor. Oh!
Now my horse will win the Preakness, and I will win the divine Lavinia.
Help! Is there a doctor in the house?
What is this? Oh, my beloved, you are wounded.
You darn right I'm wounded. Oh, no, please don't turn me over on my back.
Well, there we is, still at the racetrack. Only now it's most time for the big race.
Yeah, and nobody to ride Shasta Gold.
Oh, misery, misery. Poor Crandall lying in a hospital bed.
On his stomach.
Well, how did I know it was loaded?
They're going to the post. Every horse but Shasta Gold. Oh, woe is me, and all is lost.
Ah, I will ride Shasta Gold.
Simply, my ne'er-do-well, a brother.
Yes, I who have brought naught but shame and sorrow to my dear sister and my poor ailing grandfather. I will ride Shasta Gold to victory. Oh, for corn's sake.
Come, there isn't a moment to lose. Quick, Sibley, mount Shasta.
Very well.
Hasten, Sibley, dear. And remember, if you do not win the Preakness, just keep traveling, brother.
Don't worry. I shall win. Come, Shasta, go.
Let us hasten to the rail for the start.
Yes, sir. You coming, Ruth?
No, I'm going to stand on this here box from which I can see the whole race. For I do dearly love to call the progress of the Preakness aloud.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, now?
No, Dottie, not now.
Shot to go, broke back, beautiful start. Now she's streaking in the turn. And it's Mel's Pride first. Downbeat second and Nancy Quinn third. Shafter-Go is bringing up the rear. Now to end the backstretch. And Shafter-Go is running a beautiful race, folks. And at the half, it's Tanglefoot first. No, Dottie, not now. Second. And Dapper-Dole in third. Shafter-Go is doing a sweet job of bringing up the rear, folks. And it looks like, yes, it is. Donald Allen first. Gobbledeed second. And Philip Bell third. Shafter-Go has finally brought the rear up. Staring down the home stretch, and heading for the finish, it's Philip Bell first, Gobbledeed second, and Robin Ann third. As they cross the finish line, it's Shafter-Go, the winner.
Oh, isn't it wonderful? Now we can pay the mortgage. Our Canary Crandall and Grandpapa will get better. And Grandpapa will get better. And Grandpapa will get better.
Dottie, now.
Oh, Phineas, your grandfather is singing again.
Oh, my.
Quick, Uncle Rufus, rush back to the shingles and tell Grandpapa how Shafter-Go won. The good news may save his life.
Oh, thank goodness. This will be over in about 20 minutes, Judge. I can't make any more of these quick changes.
Speed it up, Gildy. Do you realize it's 12:30 already?
12:30, great balls of fire. Is the drawing room set back in place?
Yes, everything's ready to go.
All set out there, Bertie?
I think so, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Okay, then. Flash the orchestra. Third act. On your toes, everybody. Curtain, Hooker, curtain.
Well, here he is in the drawing room of old Governor Silsby's home, the Shingles.
Hey, she isn't supposed to say that.
No, that speech belongs in Act 1 at the very opening.
Bertie, wrong line.
And things look mighty bad for the old governor.
Oh, Bertie, you're starting the whole play all over again at 12:30.
I wonder where my husband, Uncle Rufus the butler, is.
Oh, pet her off. Somebody would be here till 4 o'clock in the morning.
I wonder where my husband, Uncle Rufus the butler, is.
Gildersleeve, the show must go on. You've got to get out there.
No, I won't. Absolutely not.
Now, who can that be? Who's that knocking at the door outside?
No, I give in.
Who you expecting set your joy and pride?
Here we go again.
Mr. Gildersleeve, this is Mr. Whalen, a talent scout from RKO Pictures.
Oh, a talent scout.
Yes, I want to sign up a member of the cast.
Oh, no. Not me.
That's right, not you. I've got a contract for your horse, Shafter-Go. Studio is running short of trucks.
Good night, folks.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by William Randolph. This is Jim Bannon speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to tune in again next week at this same time for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
We Americans are mighty lucky. We have the right foods in abundance, the good, nourishing foods that help make us strong. And here in America, the right foods need not be expensive. Take Parquet margarine, for example. The delicious spread for bread made by Kraft. Parquet margarine is one of the right foods that help make America strong. Yet Parquet is so downright economical, you'll feel free to use all you need. You see, Parquet margarine is a highly nutritious food, one of the best energy foods you can serve. And every pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. What's more, Parquet is the margarine that tastes so deliciously good as a spread and used in cooking, too. So note it down. Order delicious, economical Parquet margarine tomorrow. Just ask for Parquet, Parkay. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Pabst presents The Great Gildersleeve. The makers of Sapstet present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, are some of the foods you usually serve hard to get these days? Well, don't think that means your meals have to be monotonous, because there's a plentiful food that gives appetizing variety to menus in 100 different ways, and is mighty easy to use, too. I'm talking about Pabst-et, the delicious golden cheese food that comes in the familiar round package. It spreads easily to make tasty, nutritious sandwiches. Pabst-et also slices neatly to serve with apple pie or fruit. And it's no trick at all to make smooth cheese sauces with Pabst-et, to pour over hot vegetables, hard-cooked eggs, fish, or chicken dishes. Yes, and Pabst-et makes smooth, tempting rarebits, light, fluffy soufflés. And it's a sure hit melted on toast in the broiler. Why, all in all, you could count at least 100 different ways to turn everyday foods into exciting treats with Pabst-et. Another thing, Pabst-et is easy to digest, too, and wholesome and nourishing, a favorite with the youngsters. So serve Pabst-et often. Ask your grocer for Pabst-et tomorrow. You'll recognize it by its distinctive round, flat package. Remember, it's Pabst-et, the delicious golden cheese food of 100 uses. And now, let's join our friend, the great Gildersleeve, who seems to have been overdoing a bit lately. His legal counsel, Judge Hooker, has persuaded him to drop in on Doc Pettibone for a checkup. And while the judge stands by, the good doctor goes over the great man with a stethoscope.
You know, Doctor, this is a lot of nonsense. I feel fine.
Oh, quiet, please, Mr. Gildersleeve. I want to listen to that heart of yours.
We take you now to Gildersleeve's heart. Take it away, Doc. What is it? Why do you look like that? What is it, Doc? What have you found?
Don't tell me you found a heart.
You keep out of this, Hooker. This is serious.
I'd like you to listen to this, Judge. Put this stethoscope on. That's right. Now hold the other end up to his chest.
Stand still.
It tickles.
Well, stand still.
There. Now listen. What do you hear?
Sort of a rustling noise.
Sort of a what?
Sounds like a troop of Boy Scouts coming through the underbrush.
No. That's the hair on his chest. You're in the wrong place. Hold it lower. Hold it still.
Hold Gildersleeve still.
Oh, cut that out, Hooker. I can't stand this suspense. Doc, am I going to die?
No. Now take it easy.
Don't spare me, Doc. I'm a sick man. I know it. Don't try to fool me. If my time is up, I want you to tell me.
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Gildersleeve, but you are not going to die.
No?
No.
Did you hear that, Hooker?
You're not going to die, but with that blood pressure of yours, if you don't do what I tell you, you're going to blow up.
Oh, my goodness. I'll do it, Doctor. I'll do anything you say. You name it, and I'll do it.
Well, I want you to get some rest.
Rest, yeah?
Fly low. Take it easy. Above all, don't get excited.
Don't get excited.
Maybe you ought to go away for a few days.
That's what I keep telling him. Go away. Go away.
Listen, you meddlesome old goat.
The judge is right.
Yeah. Why don't you close up the house and take the kids and go fishing?
Say, I haven't been fishing in 20 years.
Best thing in the world for the nerves, isn't it, Doc?
Nothing like it.
Yes, sir. I used to be quite a fly caster in my day. A regular Isaac Walpole.
Well, then the place for you is Lake Hackmatack. You can rent a little cabin up there and...
Are there any fish?
Are there any fish? You know that big trout that hangs over the sideboard in my dining room?
Yes.
Lake Hackmatack.
Yes. Say, one of those wouldn't look bad in my den. By George, I'll do it. I'll take Marjorie and Leroy, and we'll start the first thing in the morning. Come on, Jack.
Mr. Gildersleeve, just a minute.
Yes?
There's one more thing.
What's that, Doc?
$5, please.
Oh, yeah. $5.
Leroy, you get right out of my kitchen. You've gone and messed up every pot and bottle I got. And look at that floor.
Good evening, Bertie.
Evening, Mr. Gildersleeve.
My, something smells mighty good.
It smells all right, but it ain't good.
Leroy, what's going on here? What on earth are you doing with all those bottles?
Just making a little root beer.
A little root beer?
He's made 14 gallons.
Well, that's how much it makes. You can see for yourself, Unc. It says here on the bottle. This extract is sufficient to make 14 gallons of genuine root beer.
Don't you think you're getting into this thing a little deep, Leroy? 14 gallons. That's an awful lot of burps.
Yeah, and he's used up every bottle and cork I got, and the wash tub still half full.
Wash tub?
Oh, you don't understand, Uncle Mort. I'm not going to drink it. I'm going to sell it.
Leroy, did you ever hear of the Pure Food and Drug Act?
No.
Well, you will. And you're going to hear the Riot Act if you don't get that stuff out of Bertie's kitchen. Where's Marjorie, Bertie?
She's out back, Mr. Gildersleeve. She's been laying in a hammock crying her eyes out.
Crying? Say, we'll have to see about this. Yeah, nothing but trouble in this house. The doctor's right. I've got to get out of here. You too, Leroy. Come on. You ought to know better than to muss up. Why, Marjorie, what's the matter, honey?
Nothing. It's Doug. He was supposed to take her to the movies tonight, and he's standing her up.
He is not. I'm standing him up.
Huh? Wait a minute. Let me get this thing straight.
He stood me up last night, so I'm standing him up tonight.
Well, darling, if you're standing him up, what are you crying about? It's Doug who should feel badly.
I know. But he doesn't. He's going to take that Helen Gibson out.
Well, you told him to take her out. I heard you.
Yes, but he's going to do it.
Oh, that's women for you. Take my advice, Unc. Never have anything to do with them.
Yes, all right, Lee.
Take it from me. The more you do for them, the less they appreciate it.
I know.
Read them off and tell them nothing. That's my method. Take my advice.
Leroy, why don't you start a column? You tend to your root beer and lay off your sister. Now, Marjorie, I wouldn't waste any tears on a fellow like Doug. He's nothing but
Don't you dare say anything against Doug.
Stick around, Leroy. I may need you after all. Remember, Marjorie, there's better fish than Doug. He's right in Lake Hackmatack. Say, how'd you like to go to Hackmatack for a couple of weeks, huh? We'll rent a little camp, and we'll do nothing but lie around in the sun all day and fish. What do you say?
Fish! Yippee!
If I wasn't asking you, Leroy. Marjorie?
Well, if there's going to be any fishing, there's one thing I'd like to know first.
Oh, what's that?
Who cleans the fish?
Yes, there is that. Leroy, you're getting to be a big boy now.
What's the matter with you cleaning the fish, Unc?
Well, I'll tell you. Funny thing about me and fish. I'm not a squeamish man, but if there's one thing I can't stand, it's cleaning fish.
In fact, we haven't caught any fish yet.
Wait a minute. I've got it. Bertie! Oh, Bertie!
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Bertie, how would you like to go away with us tomorrow for a nice vacation? Let's get going. It's 10:30, and we were going to start at 8 o'clock. Come on.
We're coming, Uncle Mort.
Well, then what's holding us up?
We're just packing the lunch.
For goodness sake, we just finished breakfast.
Now, you'd be the first to holler, Mr. Gildersleeve, if there wasn't any lunch. We'll be done soon as we finish these deviled eggs.
Yeah, I don't know why it is every time we go anyplace, all the women in the house have to start deviling eggs. Have you got the thermos bottle?
Yes.
Have you got the steamer rug?
Yes. Oh, Uncle Mort, why don't you just leave the packing to us? We can do it much quicker if you'll just let us alone.
Well, we're just trying to help, for heaven's sake. Of course, if I'm not wanted here, far be it from me.
Why don't you go get the car out?
A man tries to offer his services around here, and he gets his head taken off. Come on, Leroy.
Hey, Unc, can I back the car out?
No, you may not.
Why not, Uncle Mort? Piggy Banks backs his car out. I can do it honest.
You heard me. I said no.
Well, why not?
I told you before, young man, you're too young. You're much too young to understand about cars.
Oh.
Now get off the running board. I'm going to start it up.
Have you been fooling with this car, young man?
No, sir. But may I make a suggestion?
No, you may not. What is it?
Why don't you turn on the ignition?
Turn on... Yeah. It's a funny thing. I've been trying to start it that way for years. It's never worked yet. Gangway!
Look out!
Hey there, young fellow. Watch out where you're going.
Well, who the...
What are you trying to do, Throckmorton? Run over me?
No, Judge, but it's a nice idea.
That's gratitude. An old friend comes over to say goodbye to you, and you try to run him down.
Here's a lunch basket, Miss Gildersleeve.
Leroy, while you're resting, go get that, will you? I'll open the trunk. One side, please, Judge. Leroy, what's all this in here?
That's my root beer.
Well, get it out of there.
Oh,
We've got to have room for the baggage. We can't take all this.
well, gee, can't I take some of it?
You can take 6 bottles. That's all we'll have room for. That's all you'll have room for, too.
Okay.
The idea. I've never seen it.
Good morning, Judge Hooker.
Morning, Marjorie. Well, it looks as if you had a fine day for a trip.
Looks like a scorcher, if you ask me. I'm dying already.
Yeah, it is a little hot.
It's a lucky thing it's not far to Hackmatack. I don't like the looks of that left rear tire there.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. It's still got a lot of fabric left.
It's still...
Leroy, come get these bags, will you?
Yes, Leroy, while you're resting.
Seems like I have to do all the work around here.
By the way, Throckmorton, I'll be glad to sort of keep an eye on the house for you while you're away.
Oh, the house is locked, Judge. I don't think there's anything to keep an eye on, really.
Well, you can't tell. A couple of houses have been broken into around here lately, you know.
Is that so? I hadn't heard about that.
Yes. So if you'd like to leave your key with me, I'll be glad to drop around once in a while and see that everything's all right.
Well, that's mighty nice of you, Judge. Mighty nice of you. Here, there's the front door key.
Thank you.
Leroy, have you got those bags in back there?
Yes, everything's in.
Bertie, suppose you and Leroy ride in the back. Marjorie, you sit up here in front with me, huh? Now, are we all set? Everything in? Have we forgotten anything? Let's see. Doors locked, lights out, bags in. Leroy, did you?
Yes, Unc.
Good. Well, we're off. Goodbye, Judge.
Bye, Rocky. Hope you like Hackmatack.
If we don't, you'll hear from us.
Bye, Marjorie. Leroy.
Goodbye, Judge.
Say goodbye. Goodbye. Good old Hooker. You know, this whole trip was really his idea, Marjorie.
He's a sweet old thing, really.
Yeah, he's a sweet old thing. I'm going to miss the sweet old goat. Well, ought to be a nice trip. Ooh.
Hey, Unc, what was that? Sounded like a blowout.
I knew it. It's that left rear tire.
Hey, there goes another.
Oh, there goes our trip. Can you beat it? You work hard all year. You save your money. You mind your business. You try to take a well-earned vacation. Oh, no.
That's 4 of them.
Oh, the spare. How do you like that?
Well, let's get out.
You get out, Leroy. I'm afraid to look. I've seen some bad breaks in my time, but I'll be...
Lord?
I mean, I'm a patient man, but good gracious to Betsy. Well, that's life, I guess. Bertie, did you ever change a tire?
Hey, Unc, what do you think?
Don't tell me. Let me guess.
The tires were okay, all of them.
Leroy, this is no time for joking.
I'm not joking, they're okay.
Leroy, I distinctly heard something blow.
So did I.
I'll tell you what blew. It was Leroy's root beer. That's what blew. I told him he put too much yeast in that stuff.
Root beer. Oh, this is going to be one of my bad days.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few seconds. Everybody knows that fresh vegetables are good for you. But do you know the trick that makes practically any vegetable dish a real taste treat? Well, the answer is serve hot vegetables with smooth cheese sauce poured over them. You'll make them even better tasting, even more nutritious, too. It's easy if you use Pabst. the delicious golden cheese food that comes in a handy round flat package. All you do is melt Pabst-ett in a double boiler, stir in a little milk and season. Presto, you have a grand, smooth cheese sauce not only for vegetables, but for fish and chicken dishes, macaroni, rarebits, any number of foods. You'll be surprised how a luscious golden cheese sauce, the kind Pabst-ett makes so easily, adds sparkle to everyday dishes, gives them appetizing variety that just calls for second helpings. Yes, and Pabst-ett spreads so smoothly, slices so neatly, you'll find 100 delightful ways to serve Pabst-ett, both by itself and to add cheese goodness to other foods. It pays to serve Pabst-ett often because it's so nourishing, a fine energy food, rich in milk protein, and it gives you vitamins A as well as the milk minerals calcium and phosphorus. So ask your grocer for Pabst-ett tomorrow. Remember, Pabst-ett, the delicious golden cheese food of 100 uses. And now, let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. It seems that left rear tire held out. For as the morning mists roll across Lake Hackmatack, we find the mighty angler seated in the stern of a little rowboat with his niece in the bow and his nephew at the oars.
Steady, Leroy. Steady as she goes.
Leroy, that went right in my lap. I can't help it. It's these darn oars.
It's about far enough, I think, Leroy. Let her coast. That's it. Now hand me that rod.
Rod, Marge. Oh, here, Uncle, you want a worm?
Forget the worms. A true sportsman, Leroy, would rather die than use a worm.
Well, then how do you catch the fish?
You'll see. Young man, you're about to be initiated into the gentle art of fly casting. You see that little doohickey there that covers the hook?
You mean that tassel?
It's not a tassel, young man. That's the fly. You see, it's very delicate. The finest ones are so delicate, they're made of hummingbird feathers.
Did the fairies make them, Uncle Mort?
Oh, shut up. There's a lot of angles with this, young man, so watch carefully and don't be so smart.
I'm watching.
This is how your true angler tempts the finny tribe. It's all done with the wrist, see? And the secret is in getting the rhythm. 1, you cast it. 2, you jerk it back. You see? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. It's all done with the wrist, you see? 1.
You've been saying that for 3 days now, Unc. When do you catch the fish?
The fish are secondary, young man. The sport is the thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Yes, really, Uncle Mort.
All right, Leroy. Pass me the worms.
Tell me something, Uncle Mort. What makes you think there are any fish in this lake?
I've seen them.
Where?
In Judge Hooker's dining room.
Then what are we doing here?
Judge Hooker has a stuffed trout over his sideboard that long. And by George, I'm not leaving here till I catch something. Can you beat it? 5 days, not a single bite. Not even from a mosquito. Not one.
Remember, Uncle Mort, the sport is the thing. The fish are secondary.
Give me those worms. I've tried dry flies, wet flies. I've tried casting, trolling. If this doesn't work, so help me, I'll go in after him with a club.
Hey, Unc, look down there.
What? Where?
Down in the weeds there. See him?
Ooh, and a fat one, too. Be quiet, everybody. Be very quiet now. If I can just lower the hook down there without scaring him. Easy. Okay? You don't move. What's that, a mosquito?
It's an airplane.
Well, keep it quiet. Remember now, fish are jittery. Easy now. Nice fishy. Come and bite the little worm.
That plane's coming this way, Unc.
Go away, plane.
He's diving. It's a power dive. Look at that. Crazy come.
Oh, the crazy fool. Look out, everybody, duck!
Oh, it's Doug. He's waving. Hi, Doug. Hi.
Sit down, Marjorie.
Hi,
Oh! Leroy! Where's Leroy? None of your jokes now, young man. You come out of there.
I'm okay, Unc.
This is no time to garden. Everybody all right? That's right, Marjorie. You grab hold of the boat.
Oh.
Yes. Leroy, you grab hold of me.
Yeah.
I'll grab. Hey, look what I grabbed.
The fish.
I got the little son of a gun. I got him barehanded. Oh, he's slippery.
Oh, put him down the front of your sweater, Unc.
Yes.
Thank heaven. Now we can go home.
Summerfield. Mr. Gildersleeve, you sang a mouthful. I sure am glad to get away from that lake where it has razzmatazz. What is it?
Well, with any luck, we ought to be home by dark. But be sure and take good care of that fish back there.
Oh, don't you worry about that fish. He can take care of himself. That's the powerfulest fish I ever smelled.
Well, some fish are gamier than others. Sort of have to expect that of a trout.
That ain't no trout, Mr. Gildersleeve.
What do you mean?
That trout's a flounder.
Don't you talk that way about my trout.
Well, whatever it is, it's getting higher than a goat.
Why, Marjorie, I don't smell anything.
Oh, of course you don't with those cigars.
If you don't stop smoking those things, this fish is going to be kippered before you get him home.
So are we.
No fooling, Mr. Gildersleeve. Don't you think we ought to stop somewhere and give him a decent burial?
Nothing doing. That fish is all I got to show for a misspent week. If he bothers you, you can hang him out the window or something.
Hey, that's an idea. Hang him on the fishing rod and stick him out back. Here, I'll do it.
Now, don't let him get away.
What are you expecting to do? Thumb his way back to Lake Hackmatack?
There, that'll air him out a little.
Yeah. Well, what's that guy honking about? All right, brother, come on if you're going to pass. Well, come on.
Hey!
What do you want?
You got a fish.
I know you got a fish, you big dodo. Think the man had never seen a fish before.
Mr. Gildersleeve.
What is it, Bertie?
I ain't sure, Mr. Gildersleeve, but it looks like there's some seagulls following us.
Oh, fine.
Yep, that's what it is.
They're after your fish, Unc. They're after Junior.
Step on it, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Pull in your line, Leroy. Pull in your line. Play him, boys. Play him. I have more trouble with birds. Oh! Go away, birds. Go away. Home at last. Come on. Let's get this stuff out of here before it gets any darker. Don't forget that fish.
As if we could.
I got the lunch basket. Who's going to carry in all these bags?
Thanks. Leroy, while you're resting, old man.
Yeah.
Watch your step, Marjorie. It's pretty dark. You?
What's the more? Are you all right?
Something's grabbed me. Leroy, what did I tell you about those croquet wickets?
I thought I put them away, Unc, honest.
Yeah. Look out for that mole trap there, folks. Gosh, feel that grass. I bet it's grown 8 inches since we've been away. Leroy, first thing tomorrow morning.
I know, while I'm resting.
Yeah. Hey, somebody left the light on upstairs.
Where?
In my bathroom. Bertie, has that been burning all the time we've been away?
Wasn't me, Miss Gildersleeve.
Well, who was it then?
I don't know, Miss Gildersleeve, but it's in your bathroom.
Yeah, that's right. Well, come on, bring the bags, folks. Boy, it's stuffy in this house. Don't forget to put that fish in the icebox, Bertie.
The icebox isn't built that could hold that fish.
Miss Gildersleeve, somebody's been in the kitchen.
What do you mean?
Tramps or gypsies or somebody.
How do you know, Bertie?
There's dirty dishes all over the place. Miss Gildersleeve, You don't think maybe it's been burglars?
Burglars? Well, we have to see about this, Bertie.
Miss Marjorie, you and me better go count that silver.
Listen,
Huh? What is it?
it's your shower, Uncle Mort.
Shower?
You didn't go off and leave it running.
Certainly not. I always turn that lift.
What? There's somebody in it. There's somebody up there right now.
How do you like that for nerve? Takes a shower before he robs the joint.
Quick, Unc, call the police.
It's no use, Leroy. The wires are cut.
How do you know?
They always are. It's the first thing robbers do.
But you can't wait for the police, Uncle Mort. You've got to go up there and get him.
You're right, Marjorie. Who, me?
I'll guard the back stairs, Mr. Gildersleeve, and if he comes down that way, I'll part his scalp with this meat chopper.
Yes, you do that, Bertie, but do it quietly.
And you go up the front stairs.
Yes, wait a minute. Maybe we better think this over a little first. A lot of angles to this. Leroy, you stand by.
Okay, Unc, I got my baseball bat.
Marjorie, you sneak out and run for the cops. Well, here I go, if nobody stops me.
Be careful, Uncle Mort.
Yeah. How? Quit pushing, Leroy. I wish it wasn't so dark. I don't dare turn on a light. I'm a little vulnerable in the light. Well, here I go. Oh, those squeaky stairs. It's probably these $6 shoes. I mustn't get excited. The doctor said I mustn't get excited. I'll bet he'd get excited, though. Well, now that I'm here, I want... Uh-oh. I can see him moving around behind the shower curtain. What do I do now? Remember what the coach used to say, Gildy? Get him below the knees, boy. I wish I'd never broken training. Come on, Gildersleeve, give him what you gave Hardwick. 29, 33, 76, hit him! Police!
Gildersleeve.
Hooker, what are you doing here?
Well, what does it look like I'm doing? I'm taking a shower. Any objections?
Yes, what are you doing in my house?
Well, the painters were working on mine, so I thought I'd just move over here for a few days. I didn't think you'd mind. Matter of fact, I didn't expect you back so soon.
I'll bet you didn't. Hooker, you knew you were going to move in here the minute you got me out of town. That's why you suggested that trip.
Why, Throckmorton, I'm hurt that you'd say a thing like that.
Come clean, Hooker. You just had a bath. You knew it all the time.
Well, I had to have the house painted. You know that. It was a disgrace.
Yeah.
I can't stand the smell of paint. It gives me colic. You wouldn't want me to go...
No, I wouldn't want you to have colic. Anything I have is yours, Judge. You know that. Move in any time. Make yourself at home. Wreck the joint. There's one little thing, Judgy, about Lake Hackmatack.
Lovely spot.
Yes, lovely. But there's no trout there, and you know it.
Now, there you're wrong, Throckmorton. You just didn't try the right place.
Don't tell me. I combed that lake from one end to the other.
Well, no wonder. You should have tried the place where I got mine.
Where was that?
At the Hackmatack souvenir shop.
Well, Judge, let's let bygones be bygones, huh? Let's be friends.
You mean that, Throckmorton? You mean you forgive me?
Certainly, I mean it. There's my hand on it.
Gildy, my friend, I take back everything I've ever said about you.
Seems to me this calls for a little drink, huh, Judge? Bertie, bring the judge a bottle of that special root beer. You may think you've tasted root beer, Judge, but you're going to get an awful bang out of this. Good night.
Original music heard in this program is composed and conducted by Billy Mills. This is Dan Alexander speaking for the makers of Pap Step and inviting you to tune in again next week at the same time for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company will also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night. Present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, have you homemakers learned how to stretch red ration stamps? Well, it's an art in itself, but a simple one if you use products like Pabstet, the delicious, nourishing cheese food. For Pabstet is inexpensive. It costs only a few cents and just 3 red ration points per package. And it's a wonderfully good-tasting extender for a host of plain but satisfying foods. One good example of the way Pabstet turns an ordinary dish into a real family treat is macaroni with Pabstet. Or serve it melted into a smooth cheese sauce with leftovers of meat or fish or vegetables. And see how that unique cheddar cheese flavor satisfies family appetites. Yes, Pabstet melts and toasts and slices in a variety of tempting ways. And every way you serve it, you're helping to supply many milk nutrients your family needs. Milk protein, milk minerals, food energy, vitamin A, and vitamin G that's also called riboflavin. Ask your dealer for Pabstet, the delicious, highly digestible cheese food. Pabstet is an economical red stamp value. Now for the great Gildersleeve. Gildersleeve has a problem, and the problem is his nephew Leroy. There have been signs of trouble, a certain lack of respect at times, complaints now and then from the neighbors, and then suddenly...
Hey, you!
The time has come to face it.
Look here, Gildersleeve. This time I caught him.
Ouch!
Hooker, I thought I told you never to darken my door.
I didn't come here to darken your door, Gildersleeve. I've come here as a representative of the law.
Let go. I didn't mean to do it. Piggy dared me.
Unhand the boy, Hooker. He's my nephew, and I'll handle this.
I'll see that you do, because the law has ways of dealing with vandalism, you know.
Vandalism? It was nothing but a boy's prank.
Yeah, that's right. It was just a boy's prank.
Quiet, you.
In my opinion, Gildersleeve, you're nurturing a first-class case of juvenile delinquency there.
Yeah, that's all it was. Just juvenile delinquency.
Quiet, you.
And it's no wonder. Anybody who goes tearing around the way you do, backing into people and smashing their cars.
That's neither here nor there, and I did not back into you. And don't try to take it out on the boy. I'll pay for the broken window, Hooker. When it comes to the care and feeding of children, I don't need any advice from you.
You owe me a buffer.
You owe me a fender. Good day.
That's telling him, Unc. Boy, you certainly told him.
Young man, come into my study.
But, Unc, I didn't mean to do it. Piggy dared me. He made me do it, honest. It was nothing but a boyish prank, Unc, like you said.
Close the door. Now,
Yes, sir.
you know what happens to boys who go around destroying property? Do you?
Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir.
They start out with little things like this, and they go from bad to worse. They start hanging around drugstores. They fall into bad company. The first thing you know, they're smoking cigarettes.
Oh, I wouldn't ever smoke, Unc.
I hope not. But that's only the beginning.
Piggy tried to get me to once, but I wouldn't. I told him it wouldn't be right.
I'm glad to hear it, because once you...
Smoking's bad for you. It stunts your growth.
That's right. It's very bad.
Then why do you smoke, Unc?
We're not talking about me, Leroy. We're talking about you.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to impress upon you, Leroy, the seriousness of what you've done. A broken window may seem a small thing in itself, but it could be the first step in a life of crime.
You're right, Unc. I'm sorry. I'll try to do better.
Well, I certainly hope you will, my boy.
Guess I'm just no good.
Oh, well, I guess we're both a little to blame.
That's right.
You don't have to agree with me. But I realize now I haven't spent as much time with you as perhaps I should. You know, I think we ought to try to get to understand each other a little bit, Leroy, don't you?
How do you mean, Unc?
Well, I mean, do things together, read things together, go places together.
Go where?
Well, I don't know. We might go on hikes together.
You mean it?
Would you like that?
Can Piggy go?
Piggy? Well, I guess so, if it's all right with his mother.
Oh, boy, wait till I tell him.
Wait a minute. I didn't say right this minute.
Pack a lunch, Friday. Unc, Piggy, and I are going on a hike. Yay!
I guess we're going on a hike.
Piggy.
Oh, boy, we sure are.
Let's go, Unc.
Wait a minute. Bertie, how many hard-boiled eggs did you put in the lunch basket?
6, Mr. Gildersleeve.
6? Let me see. There's Leroy and Piggy and myself.
Yes, sir. 1 egg for each of the boys and 4 for you.
Oh, that's how it goes, huh? Well, I guess that's all right.
Can we start now, Unc?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, come on, Piggy.
Yeah, wait a minute. There's one thing that must be understood clearly before we leave. Leroy?
Yes, sir?
Piggy?
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve?
We're going on this hike as if we were all in the Army.
Did you rent a Jeep?
Don't be smart, young man, and don't you encourage him, Piggy. We're going to run this hike along military lines, and I'm going to be the commanding officer. You boys are the men in my squad. Now tell me, Piggy, what's the first thing a man learns in the Army?
How to make his bed.
No. Leroy, what's the first thing a man learns in the Army?
How to spit through his teeth.
Young man, this hike can stop right here.
Oh, gee, Unc, please, I'm sorry.
Well, all right. The first thing you learn in the Army is to obey orders. When I give an order on this hike, I want it obeyed. And I want it obeyed promptly without an argument. Is that clear?
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I get it.
All right, then we can start. Forward! Oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, hello, Leela. We were just going off for a little hike, trying to get Leroy interested in nature.
Well, now, that's just the thing. My sister's little boy, Michael, is with me for the day, and I know he'd just love to go on the hike with you, wouldn't you, Michael?
I'm perfectly willing to go, Aunt Leela, if you think best.
Oh, for corn's sake.
Leroy, well, we'd be glad to take Michael, Leela, but don't you think he's a little young for a long hike? We're going up to Shroom Point, and that's quite a long way.
Yeah, it's a heck of a long ways, Mrs. Ransom. I almost get tired myself going there.
Oh, boy, me too.
Oh, well, I won't worry about that. I'm sure you boys will be able to figure out some way to take care of little Michael if he gets too worn out. Can't you, Throckmorton?
Well,
I knew it. Now, you boys just go on and hike your heads off, you hear? Michael, be sure and have a nice time and don't strain yourself, and don't forget to thank Mr. Gildersleeve and the boys when you get home. Goodbye, everybody. Bon voyage.
But Leela...
Bye, Ransom.
Michael. Well, forward, march. Here's a beautiful spot, fellas. Suppose we stop for a minute and give some of our soldiers a chance to rest. I imagine you're a little tired, aren't you, Piggy?
I should say not, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm as fresh as a daisy.
Daisy. Well, I'm sure the other boys are tired, the way we've been tearing along. Leroy?
Heck no, there's nothing the matter with me.
I was hoping you older boys be more thoughtful and give little Michael a chance to get his breath.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm not a bit winded. You see, Unc, we don't have to stop now. Nobody's tired.
Nevertheless, as your commanding officer, I order a halt. You're all tired, only you don't realize it.
But gosh, Unc.
Leroy, you heard my order. Possibly this would be a good time to have lunch, too.
Lunch now, Mr. Gildersleeve? It's only 11 o'clock.
11, Piggy? Oh, so it is. I would have guessed around 1:30. But there's an old saying, an army travels on its stomach. That's what we got to do.
I'd like to watch you.
Never mind.
Please, Unc, there's a place just a little ways ahead that's swell for lunch. It has a brook.
A brook? Oh, that sounds nice. Is that what you other boys would like, too?
Oh, boy, me for the brook. Yes, by all means.
Well, all right. We'll go on to the brook. Forward! Oh, Leroy.
Yeah, Unc?
How far is it to the brook?
About 2 miles.
Forward, march. Leroy! Oh, Leroy!
What is it, Unc?
I don't want you boys to get too far ahead of me. I'm responsible for your safety, you know.
We can't help getting ahead of you, Unc. You keep sitting down all the time.
Well, my feet are bothering me. Another thing, Leroy. We've gone a lot more than 2 miles, and I haven't seen anything that looks like a brook.
We'll be there soon, Unc.
Well, I can't wait. I'm worried about little Michael. Yeah, we better stop here and eat.
Oh.
Leroy, that's an order. We'll sit right down here in this rock and divide up the... Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter, Unc? You didn't lose the basket.
Oh, boy, if he lost that basket.
Take it easy, Piggy. I just remembered. There are 4 of us, and Bertie fixed lunch for 3.
Gosh. Nuts. Awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, awkward. What are we going to do?
Well, I don't like to say anything, Unc, but he's your fiancé's nephew.
Yes, he's going to be our cousin, Leroy. And we'll all share and share alike. Now, who doesn't like ham? Who doesn't like jelly? Is there anybody here who doesn't like hard-boiled eggs? Well, eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Gee, I'm hungry, Mr. Gildersleeve. So am I, Unc. Me too.
Listen, I'm hungrier than all of you put together. Well, what can we do about it?
Yeah, what can we... Say, Unc, I just remembered something. There's a little country store right up this road where we could get something to eat.
There is? How far is it, Leroy?
Only about half a mile.
Half a mile. Well, forward march.
Oh, gosh, Unc, now that we've eaten, do we have to sit here for the rest of the day?
My feet are killing me, Leroy. Besides, we haven't had any nature study on this whole hike. Yes, we'll have it now.
Nature study?
Oh, it's very valuable for any boy. Now, for instance, this tree we're sitting under. I doubt if any of you boys know what it is.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh. Quite right. Let's see. That one over there.
Maple!
You sure it isn't an elm?
Oh, no, Mr. Gildersleeve. The elm is unmistakable on account of its serrated leaves.
Yes, serrated? Oh. Where did you learn that, Michael?
I had a special course in nature study at camp last summer.
Oh, well, that takes care of the botany. Let me see now. There must be some more nature around here someplace. Is that? By George, it is.
What is it, Unc?
One of nature's masterpieces, boys. An oriole's nest.
Where?
Right there. That long gray thing. He has to stand on his head to make it.
Are you sure that's an oriole's nest, Mr. Gildersleeve? It looks like Vestas crepitans to me.
Nonsense, my boy. Now, I'll show you the little baby orioles if you'll all be quiet. Now, if I grab this branch.
I'll jump for it, Unc. Here.
Now, quiet, everybody, so you won't scare the itty-bitty birdies. Can't seem to find the opening in this nest.
I'm sure that's a Vestas crepitans, Mr. Gildersleeve. Do you know what that is?
Oh, of course I do. And this is nothing like it, Michael. I'll show you. Hey, what the dickens is a Vestas crepitans?
A hornet!
Oh, forward march!
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few seconds. Meanwhile, perhaps you remember the advice in the old saying, waste not, want not. It certainly applies these days. And that's the reason, I suppose, that so many smart homemakers are economizing with red ration points and cash by planning menus ahead, and are so ingeniously putting every bit of food to work so that nothing is wasted. One especially useful trick of practical magic that'll make leftovers really sing is to combine them with Pabstet, the delicious golden cheese food. For Pabstet melts and toasts and slices to perfection, and the whole family will go for its grand cheddar cheese flavor. What's more, Pabstet is a fine source of valuable milk nutrients, and it's highly digestible. Of importance, too, it costs only a few cents per package and just 3 red ration points. Now, your dealer may not have Pabstet the very first time you ask for it because so much dairy food is going to war, but everything is being done to keep dealers supplied. So watch for Pabstet, P-A-B-S-T-E-T-T, Pabstet, the delicious, nourishing cheese food. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve, or what's left of him. He's had a good supper, and we find him now entering his den, his shoes in his hand, preparing to relax on the couch. But what's this he sees?
So, Leroy?
What's the matter, Unc?
This junk, young man. I believe I've mentioned before that I do not like to find these confounded little comic books all over my desk.
Hey, don't throw those away. They're valuable.
Don't be silly. They're nothing but trash.
No, they're not, Unc. You ought to read one.
I've got no time for such stuff.
Oh, be fair, Unc. I did what you wanted to do. I went on a hike.
Oh, thanks very much. My feet are killing me right now. Well, I suppose I should be open-minded, Leroy. And what's this one here? Is this a good one? Captain Wonderman.
Is it? He's so good he's on the radio every night. In about 5 minutes he'll be on.
Never mind. Now, what's it about?
Oh, gee, Unc, this is the best comic there is. Captain Wonder Man is the strongest man in the world. He has secret muscles.
Huh?
Yeah, here. Look at the story of Captain Wonder Man and the Nazi saboteurs.
Where does it begin?
Well, here. You see, this kid, Jackie Crumb, is a newsboy, and all of a sudden this Nazi spy grabs him, Dr. Von Denk.
Why?
Well, because he thinks Jackie knows something about Captain Wonder Man.
Well, does he?
Does he? Jackie Crumb is Captain Wonder Man.
Yes,
You begin to like it now, Unc?
not yet.
Oh, you will. But that's a secret about Jackie being Wonder Man. Nobody knows it but bona fide members of the club.
What club?
The Captain Wonder Man Club. You send 10 cents.
Never mind. I don't have to join the club. What happened to the newsboy?
Well, as soon as he's tied up, he's helpless unless he changes himself to Captain Wonder Man.
How does he do that?
That's another secret. Nobody knows but the club members.
How many members are there?
20 million.
None of them would tell?
Oh, no. You have to send 10 cents.
No, I'll join no club.
What? Well, then I'll tell you. Jackie says the mystic word, Alakazam.
Alakazam?
Alakazam. And then he becomes the strongest man in the world and the most patriotic. Look at him.
I see him. Why does he wear a cape?
The members know. They send 10
Never
cents.
mind the 10 cents. Leroy, I forbid you to read any more of this junk. If I find you of it lying around, I'll burn it.
Gosh, Unc, don't you want me to learn to read?
Not in order to read drivel about muscle-bound men with capes. And get away from that radio. Learn to read from something good, Leroy. Here, I'll find you something up here.
The makers of Toasted Popsies present Captain Wonderman.
Leroy! Oh, turn off that radio. Turn it off, I say. I told you, young man, I'm trying to find something decent for you to read. Captain Wonderman. Now be quiet for a minute.
Okay, Unc. Looking for something, Uncle Mort?
Yes, I'm looking for a book.
What one?
Oh, I don't know, a good book. Looking for something to read to Leroy.
Well, here's David Copperfield. No, I tried to read that. Oh, here's a wonderful book. I've always just loved this one.
Oh?
What is it?
Little Women.
Is she kidding?
Don't sneer at Little Women, my boy. My mother read it to me when I was younger than you are. It's a wonderful book.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I've read it so many times I almost know it by heart. Please, Uncle Mort, read us Little Women.
Oh, why don't you read it, my dear? I'm tired. I'll just stretch out here on the couch while you read, huh?
Well, if you want me to.
Now, make yourself comfortable, Leroy, because I want you to sit still and listen to this.
Okay. Well, there's no use really starting it tonight, so I'd just like to read you my favorite part. You mind?
No, go ahead, my dear.
It's where Beth dies. You see, it's about all these sisters, Leroy, and one is Jo. She's sort of a tomboy. That's the one I always wanted to be. And then there's Beth. She isn't very strong, and, well, I'll read it to you.
All right.
The pleasantest room in the house was set apart for Beth, and in it was gathered everything that she most loved. Flowers, pictures, her piano, the little work table, and the beloved kitten. Father's best books found their way there, Mother's easy chair, Joe's desk, Amy's finest sketches. And every day Meg brought her babies on a loving pilgrimage to make sunshine for Auntie Beth. John quietly set apart a little sum that he might enjoy the pleasure of keeping the invalid supplied with the fruit she loved and longed for. Old Hannah never wearied of concocting dainty dishes to tempt her capricious appetite, dropping tears as she worked. And from across the sea came little gifts and cheerful letters, seeming to bring breaths of warmth and fragrance from lands that knew no winter. Here, cherished like a household saint in its shrine, sat Beth, tranquil and busy as ever. But nothing could change the sweet, unselfish nature. And even while preparing to leave life, she tried to make it happier for those who should remain behind. I'm sorry.
Marge.
I'm sorry, but it always gets me.
Oh, here, give it to me, my dear. I'll go on with it. Where are we now? Oh, yes. Joe never left her for an hour since Beth had said, "I feel stronger when you're here." She slept on a couch in the room, waking often to renew the fire, to feed, lift, or wait upon the patient creature who seldom asked for anything and tried not to be a trouble. Often when she woke, Joe found Beth reading in her well-worn little book, heard her singing softly, to beguile the sleepless night, or saw her lean her face upon her hands, while slow tears dropped through her transparent fingers.
Unc, what's the matter?
But it's so sad, Leroy.
I think if you don't mind, I'll go for a little walk.
Walk?
Yes, I need the exercise.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. Just about to close up here. How are you today?
On my last legs, Peavy. Have you got anything you can recommend for sore feet?
Sore feet? You've been having a little trouble?
Yes. The kids walked me away out to Shroon Point and back, and my feet are killing me. I'd like to know what's good for them.
Mr. Gildersleeve, have you tried sitting down?
Peavy, this is no joke.
Well, I believe I have got a preparation here. Pretty good, too. I often use it myself after a hard day. So does Mrs. Peavy.
Oh? Well, let's have a look at it.
Just a minute. I can get my other glasses on here.
Yeah?
Oh, yes. It goes under the name of Cogan's Foot Balm. Nice for the feet. It says here, prepare a tub of hot water, pouring contents of bottle, so on, so on.
Would you mind if I looked at it?
Immerse aching members. You stick your feet in it. Bottle sells for 15 cents.
You say you tried this thing yourself?
Oh, yeah, so has Mrs. Peavy. In fact, we sometimes spend an evening that way.
In the same tub?
Well, we use the wash boiler. It works out nicely, too. We pull up 2 chairs, and she sits at one end, and I sit at the other.
Well, sounds very clubby.
Sometimes we even work in a game of Chinese checkers.
You could have a nice game of footy-footy there, too. Well, I'll take a chance on the stuff, Peavy.
Well, you're taking no chances, Mr. Gildersleeve. They're not exaggerating when they say on the bottle that this balm is the key to true foot joy. One treatment with this, and you'll come out feeling like a regular Captain Wonderman.
Captain Wonderman. Don't tell me you waste your time on those comics.
Well, I guess I carry as complete a stock of them as anybody in town.
So this is where they come from. Peavy, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
If you ask me, they're a lot of trash. There's absolutely nothing in them.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that either. Have you ever looked at one carefully?
No, but I hear all I want to from Leroy about them.
Yeah, it's just possible that Leroy has overlooked something. Have you ever examined the young ladies in these drawings?
The young ladies?
I'll show you. I usually happen to have a copy under the counter here. On page 13, you will find the tasty item. There. Quite, don't you think so?
Well, I'm beginning to see your point.
Laura, her name is.
Laura?
Lady Laura. That's Captain Wonderman's lady friend.
Oh.
You'll find others, too. Care to take a copy along?
No, Peavy. I'm really not interested. I've got to be getting along with this thing. Dog tired. Got to get home and get some sleep.
Well, good night, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good night, Peavy.
Alakazam.
Alakazam.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I got the wash ball all ready. You fixing to get in hot water again?
Yes. Very good, Bertie.
Uncle Mort, you're not starting anything now. Why, it's bedtime.
Don't you worry about me. I'll just take my shoes off and soak my tootsies for a while, and I'll be right up to bed.
I guess I'll go along then if you don't mind. Good night.
Yeah, good night, my dear. Good night, Bertie.
Good night, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Let's see now. Water seems about right. Well, we'll put Peavy's magic potion in it now. And I'll pull up a chair. Nice and comfy. By George, I haven't gone wading since I was a kid. Nice and warm and relaxing. I don't know if I can hold out, though. Hope Peavy was right. Alakazam. Alakazam.
makers of Toasted Popsies present Captain Gildersleeve.
Captain Gildersleeve! Captain Gildersleeve!
Don't disturb me now, Junior. I'm conducting an experiment which, if successful, will bring to naught all the plans of the Axis.
But Captain Gildersleeve, it's Lady Laura. Even now she is being held captive in an ancient temple on a deserted island by your old enemy.
Dr. Von Hooker. There's not a moment to lose. Alakazam.
Just think. Here we are flying over the Pacific at twice the speed of light with nothing but our superhuman powers to support us.
We got a nice day for it, too.
Look, there's Lady Laura, bound hand and foot.
Where, Junior?
Right ahead there, about 1,750 miles.
Your eyes are better than mine. And if you're right, there's not a moment to lose. Alakazam! Oh! Almost knocked my superhuman wind out. Here's Lady Laura, bound and gagged. But if you work it only a moment to free her, there.
Why, Captain Gildersleeve! I declare you're just so strong.
Strongest mortal on earth.
Don't move a muscle, Gildersleeve.
With my X-ray nose, I smell an old goat. So, we meet again, Von Hooker.
I have you surrounded. There's a machine gun in every nook and cranny. When I give the
Oh,
order...
what can we do, Captain?
Have no fear. I've got not a worse scrapes than this, though I can't remember when.
I shall count 10. 1.
All I have to do is say the magic word.
2.
Oh, for goodness sake, say it.
3.
Skillaboot. No, that's not it.
4.
I can't remember. Junior, where is that boy?
5.
Hocus pocus. Darn it, I can't remember the word.
6.
Think, Captain, think.
How can I think with him standing there counting?
7.
Razzmatazz. No.
8.
Rumpelstiltskin. Walla Walla.
You're cold. 9.
I can't remember the confounded word. We'll have to run for it, Laura.
Wake up! What's going on down here?
Oh, my goodness, look at my kitchen.
Look at my pants.
Oh, what happened? I fell asleep and kicked over the wash boiler.
I had the most horrible dream.
What was it? What were you dreaming about?
Yes, what in the world were you dreaming about?
Why, Little Women. Good night, everybody.
Music on this program was under the direction of Claude Sweeten. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
I guess you'll agree that it's not only smart to be thrifty these wartime days, but it's absolutely necessary if you want to keep your two food budgets under control. That's a mighty good reason why you should know about Parquet, the quality margarine made by Kraft. For Parquet margarine costs a little cash and just 5 red ration points per pound. But economy is only one reason why Parquet is popular the country over. People everywhere like its delicate, appetizing flavor for many uses. You see, Parquet is a grand-tasting spread for bread and a delicious seasoning for hot vegetables. It's a real flavor-shortening for baking and just about perfect for pan frying. Parquet is a real energy food, too, and contains vitamin A. If your dealer doesn't have it the first time you ask, it's due to wartime shortages and the fact that Parquet's popularity is growing very fast. But Kraft is doing everything possible to keep dealers supplied. So watch for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company will also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night. Present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Now, before Gildy starts on his rollicking new adventures, I'd like to take just a moment to tell you about a grand adventure in eating. Of course, we're all backing the government's ration program, but now and then we'd all like a little more flavor and variety. Well, let's take bread, rolls, and muffins, for example. They're still just as plentiful, still just as downright good eating as ever, and a whole lot better for you, made with vitamin-enriched flour. But, well, shucks, who wants to eat them dry? So here's where we get to that adventure in mighty good eating. For delicious flavor, spread Parquet margarine on bread rolls and muffins, and see how really good they taste. You won't know how delicious until you've actually tried Parquet. What's more, Parquet margarine is one of the best energy foods you can serve. Every pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. Yes, Parquet is wonderfully good to eat and good for you. So ask your grocer tomorrow for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now, what about our old friend Gildersleeve? Well, the last we saw of him back in June, he was left at the altar by the widow Ransom. 2 months have passed, but the mark of that fateful moment is still upon him. Gildersleeve today is a changed man. For the past week, he's been vacationing at the Idlewild Hotel on the shore of picturesque Grass Lake, where he's come to seek forgetfulness and such solitude as he can find in the company of his niece and nephew. It's the breakfast hour now, and Gildersleeve steps out on the veranda for a breath of morning air before advancing upon the dining room.
Sea air. There's nothing like it.
Why, it's Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve. Why, so it is.
Oh, good morning, ladies. Miss Foltz, Miss Sowerby, Mrs. Good morning.
Oh, you're up early this morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, mistake.
Well, you know the old saying, early to bed and early to rise.
Makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Mr. Gildersleeve, you're the first healthy man I've seen in weeks.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I'm just going to be frightfully bold and ask you if you won't share my table with me at breakfast this morning.
Why,
Now, Miss Foltz, I saw him first.
And where do I come in? Mr. Gildersleeve as good as promised me.
Now, ladies, please.
Well, I think Mr. Gildersleeve should take us all into breakfast. It's the only way.
That's it. We'll all go.
Well, I'd be delighted, ladies, but it just so happens...
Now, Mr. Gildersleeve, you have nothing to say about it. This is war, you know.
Ladies, I can imagine nothing more delightful.
Oh, listen to him.
Unfortunately, I just remembered that I forgot something. My niece and nephew. It'd hardly do to forget them, now would it? So if you'll excuse me.
Oh.
I'll be seeing you anon.
But you'll be back.
Anon, Miss Foltz, anon. Women, nothing but women. I came up here to forget women. What do I find? Miss Foltz. Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve. Miss Sowerby. I gotta get out of here. Leroy, get your clothes on.
I was just going for a swim.
You've just been for a swim.
I was going for another.
You've gone for your last. Get out of those wet trunks and start dressing. And stop dripping all over the floor.
Well, what's up? We going somewhere?
We're leaving.
Leaving?
You heard me. Get dressed.
You mean today? Today we're leaving?
Today, this morning, right now, right after breakfast.
I already had breakfast.
You don't mind if I have a bite?
No. Gosh, leaving.
I better have breakfast sent in. I'm not going out there with all those harpies. Hand me the telephone.
But, Unc, what about the swimming race tomorrow?
It's too bad about the swimming race. Hand me the telephone. Hello?
Gosh, after I trained a whole week for it.
Hello?
Just when I stand a good chance to knock off the junior medal.
Hello?
Marge is going to be awful disappointed. She was counting on that dance tomorrow night.
What is this?
Tomorrow's the big day, you know. Swimming race, canoe tilting, free food.
Hello?
Dance in the evening, swimming race. Marge will be disappointed.
Room service. Hello, operator.
She's going to be awful disappointed, Marge is.
Operator, anybody. Hello. I give up. Call this a hotel. Come in.
Well, if it isn't Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, shut up.
Tough luck about that dance you're not going to Saturday night.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about we're leaving, that's what, aren't we, Uncle?
Oh, Uncle Mort, not now.
I'm sorry, my dear, but I can't stand another day of this. I can't go anywhere. I can't even stick my nose out of this room. But what I'm surrounded by old hens. Miss Foltz, Miss Sowerby, Mrs. Hooses.
Well, you can't blame them, Uncle Mort, if you're so attractive.
Well,
You are, you know. You're the most attractive man in the hotel.
I'm the only man in the hotel. And who said this was a hotel? You ring the bell, no bellhop. You pick up the telephone, no operator. Turn on the water, no water. Whatever did we come up here for anyway?
To find Marge a fella.
Oh, shut up.
Well, what are you kicking about? You found one.
Listen, Mr. Nosey, if you would just kindly be so good as to kindly mind your own business instead of snooping
I
around.
was snooping around. I missed the ball that happened to roll behind the swing.
Now, kids.
What were you doing playing ball? You were supposed to be working on your arithmetic. You haven't done any also.
Don't try to change the subject. He had his arm around you.
Leroy.
He did not have his arm around
Now,
you.
Marjorie.
Well, he was holding your hand.
He was not holding my hand. And it wasn't who you think it was. Yeah.
She admits it. She admits it.
I do not.
Quiet.
You heard her, Unc. She admits it.
He has done a bit of work on his arithmetic all summer.
Quiet, both of you. Ye gods, you've done nothing but wrangle you two from the day we got here. I'm sick of it. We're getting out of here on the first train.
Oh, Uncle Mort, please.
No, it's settled. The first train.
Now see what you did.
Oh, dear. I never did
Ye gods. Leroy, get some clothes on. Marjorie, you start packing.
Where are you going, Unc?
Never mind. You must know I'm going down to the lake, where I hope to have a few quiet moments to myself and, if possible, recover some of my sanity. It's like having bloodhounds after you. I'll sit here and cool off a little and look at the water. I must go down to the sea again, to the lonely sea and the sky. Grass Lake. Oh, well.
Oh.
Well, what? Who? Huh?
Oh, excuse me. I didn't realize there was anyone here.
Neither did I.
I'm awfully sorry. I thought this seemed such a lovely, quiet spot to sit and look at the lake.
Yes, and you can... why don't you take this bench?
Oh, I couldn't. You were here first.
Well, I'll sit on this log.
Oh, but your beautiful white flannels.
Huh? Oh, I've had them a long time.
Well, I'm sure there's room for both of us on the bench.
Oh?
There, you see? Now I haven't disturbed you at all.
No.
Oh, there's a lovely light on the lake at this time of the morning, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Would you say it was eerie?
What, Lake Erie?
Oh, no, the light. It's a strange, eerie light.
Oh, yes, very eerie.
It's so seldom one meets a person nowadays who really loves nature. But you do, don't you?
I guess so. You staying here at the hotel?
Yes, I just arrived this morning. Are you?
Oh, yeah. But I'm going home this afternoon.
Oh, just as we're starting to get acquainted.
Yeah. Since then, I've been water commissioner of Summerfield. That's the story of my career. I guess it's not much of a story.
Oh, it's a fascinating story. You've had to fight, haven't you? I knew it the moment I saw you.
Well, I've had my struggles, but what man hasn't?
Of course. You know, I really think it's a shame you're leaving today.
Well, it's not absolutely definite.
Oh, good. Would you mind if I asked you something terribly personal?
No. Go ahead. What is it?
Well, I don't like to intrude into your... I don't know how to say it even. But I had the feeling while you were telling me about yourself that you were leaving something out. Something that had made you terribly sad.
Oh, no. You're mistaken.
Am I? Well, tell me honestly. Have you had an unhappy love affair?
No.
I knew it. some woman has hurt you. I'm sure because you're so kind and gentle. You must have been wounded deeply once yourself.
Well,
Oh, how you must hate us women, all of us.
Well, naturally, I try to be fair, but I'm afraid I'll never again be able to think of a woman as a friend.
Well, you must try. Perhaps if you could tell someone about it, someone sympathetic, it might help. It often does help, you know.
It's very painful.
Well, if it would hurt you too much.
Oh, no.
Then try.
Well, when I first met Leela Ransom...
Oh.
When I first met her, the thing that struck me about her was her helplessness.
Just a young girl, I suppose.
Well, she was more of a widow. At least I understood she was a widow. And she seemed to need someone to shield her from the world. Or that's what she led me to believe.
She tricked you.
I'm sure of it now. However, I lost my heart to Leela Ransom. I loved her deeply, sincerely. I asked her to marry me, and she consented.
But the marriage?
We were never married.
Oh.
I stood beside her at the altar, the happiest man in the world, asking only that I be allowed to devote the rest of my life to her. Suddenly, her husband walked in. He was no deader than me.
Oh, how dreadful.
Yes. You can see why I'm through with women, can't you?
Oh, I don't blame you for feeling the way you do, honestly. But I do feel there's hope because, well, I was hurt once, too, terribly.
Oh, you were?
Yes. I once thought I could never bear to speak to a man again.
Well, that's quite a coincidence. Did he leave you at the altar?
Well, it wasn't quite like that. I'll tell you about it sometime.
Oh, tell me now.
Oh, no, I'd rather not, but you're very kind to be so interested. You've done a great deal for me.
Oh, no, you've done a great deal for me. Would you like to walk down this path to the lake for a little way?
Oh, I'd love to. It looks so nice and shady.
Yes, it is shady. You're sure that you won't be nervous walking in the woods with a stranger?
Do you think I should be?
Let's go.
Oh, it's quite steep.
Steep, yes.
Oh!
What's the matter?
Oh, my ankle. I'm afraid I've turned it rather badly.
Oh, here, lean on me.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you seem so solid.
You think so?
Oh, so safe. I'm sure you won't let me go.
Don't worry.
Oh.
Well, for Pete's sakes, Mom, I've been looking all over for you.
Frederick.
You better come down to the lake. Jack and Tom are throwing rocks at each other.
Well, make them stop.
I can't. And one of them hit Mary and her nose is bleeding.
Oh.
And Nancy lost her bathing suit in the water.
Oh, my goodness.
Madam, I can see you were not left at the altar. Excuse me, I gotta go and catch a train. Hello, operator? No, I do not wish a beverage. I want my bill. I want to check out. Room 618 and 619. Yes, well, see that he hurries. Tougher to get out of this hotel than to get into a good one. Well, I guess I've got everything in the bag. If I can only close it.
Oh, Unky, before you close it, could you just tuck in one little thing for me?
I suppose so. What is it?
Just that little Cupid doll I won in the hotel raffle.
But, Marjorie, that Cupid doll's almost as big as Leroy. I haven't got room for that.
But your suitcase is bigger than mine.
It's not that big. If you want the Cupid, carry it in your arms. You'll be lucky if they don't make you buy him a ticket.
Gosh, I wish I hadn't won it now.
Well, leave it. Let somebody else win it. Where's that man with the bill? Operator, this is 618. If that man isn't here with my bill in 1 minute, I'm going to sneak out and leave my baggage.
That's telling a monk.
Yeah. Let's close this thing, Leroy. I'm afraid those hinges are going to... There. Thank goodness.
Say, I just remembered something.
What?
Something you forgot. Wait a second, I'll get it. Yeah, here it is, Unc.
What is it?
Here, catch.
Leroy.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, Unc. I thought you were looking.
Well, I wasn't. Anyway, never throw a wet bathing suit at anybody. Where am I going to put this darn thing? Come in.
Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, yes. You the bill clerk?
Oh, no, sir. I'm the assistant manager.
Oh, excuse me.
That's all right. The clerk told me you'd asked for a statement, but we can't let you check out, Mr. Gildersleeve. We're counting on you to be master of ceremonies at the ladies' archery contest this afternoon.
Give me my bill.
But, Mr. Gildersleeve, the ladies will be so disappointed.
I can't help it. Why don't the ladies leave me alone?
Well, there's a war on, you know.
That has nothing to do with it. Get my bill ready and send somebody up here for my bags.
All right, if you insist.
Now, what was I doing?
Thinking about your wet bathing suit. That could be dry by tomorrow, Unc, and I wouldn't miss the swimming race.
Never mind. Better wrap it up in a couple of dirty shirts. Makes an awful lump, though. Come in.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hooker.
Hello, Judge. Hi, Judge.
What are you doing here, you old goat?
Well, if that isn't foolish question number 999. I came to spend the weekend with you.
I'm sorry, but you're too late, Judge. I can't stand another day in this place.
Oh, now, Gildy, I've come all the way up here to see you. How about 18 holes of golf right now?
Golf. That's what I came up here for.
And this afternoon we could go fishing on the lake. Maybe get a couple of smallmouth bass for supper.
Oh, smallmouth bass fried in breadcrumbs with a little lemon juice. Yeah. We've had chicken here every night this week.
Oh, come on, Gildy. Tomorrow we can hire some horses and go for a ride along the mountain trail.
By George, Horace, I'll stay over with you.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you darling. Judge, you're a hero.
Well, everybody happy.
Operator, this is 618. No, I've already checked out. I want to come back. Yes, till Sunday morning. I don't care who wants the room. I've got it, and I'm going to keep it. All right, go on, Leroy. Go on, Marjorie, with your swimming race. Line up your date for the dance.
Hey, see you later, Unc. I gotta get back in training.
I gotta solve the manpower problem.
Doggone it, Horace. I'm glad you came. I've been trying to find a golf game, somebody to fish with ever since I got here.
You have, Gildy? Well, you must be slipping. There's plenty of golfers right here under your nose.
Well, I couldn't find them.
Well, I signed up a couple for a foursome with us this morning, and they're going fishing with us this afternoon.
Oh, that's great.
Not only that, but tomorrow night they're going to the dance with us.
Wait a minute, Hooker. Who are these golfers?
Two Lollapaloozas, a Miss Foltz and Miss Sowerby.
Oh!
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few seconds. School days are just around the corner, and that's going to call for some new strategy from you generals of the kitchen. I mean, you mothers will have to think up tempting new ways to put nourishing foods into those school lunch boxes. So allow me to pass along a helpful suggestion. Here's how to get really important food value out of those precious few ration points. It's to buy and serve Parquet margarine. But do you know that Parquet requires only 4 red ration points a pound? And every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. In your government's official nutrition program, the daily use of such excellent foods as vitamin-fortified margarine is recommended. As for appetizing flavor, well, Parquet really satisfies. You'll find Parquet just about tops as a delicious spread for bread. And you may be interested to know that Parquet carries the seal of acceptance of the Council on Foods and Nutrition of the American Medical Association. So ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now, getting back to the great Gildersleeve and his little family, we find them surfeited with vacation joys, glaring at each other and at Judge Hooker from opposite seats in the day coach.
Well, according to my calculations, we ought to reach Summerfield about 6 o'clock.
According to my calculations, we'll be lucky if we reach it at all on this milk train.
Leroy, for goodness sake.
Leroy, take your feet off your sister's lap.
Well, I have to put them somewhere, don't I?
Fine accommodations you got us, Horace. A day coach. I thought you were supposed to have some influence around here.
I have. The assistant passenger agent is a personal friend of mine.
You don't say.
Yes, sir. Used to go to school together. I see him every now and then. Fred Kennicott is his name. Fred Kennicott.
How is Fred Kennicott these days?
Oh, he's fine.
That's fine. I wonder if you'd give Fred Kennicott a message for me the next time you see it.
Glad to, Gildy. Glad to. What's the message?
Tell him his railroad is a public disgrace.
All very well to complain, Gildy, but let me remind you there's a war on.
If anybody else reminds me there's a war on, Where do you think you're going, Leroy?
To get a drink.
Ouch! Get off the judge's bunions.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Now sit down.
Oh, gosh, can't I even get a drink of water even?
You've had a drink. You've had 50 drinks. You've done nothing but run from here to the water cooler ever since we got on this train.
But, Aunt, I'm dying.
doing? You heard your uncle. Sit down.
You keep out of this, Judge. I'll handle it.
If he were a boy of mine, by golly, I know what I'd do with him.
If I need any advice from you on the handling of children, Judge, I'll ask for it.
Feel free to do so at any time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, hum. What a jolly little journey.
Oh, Marjorie's right. We shouldn't be allowing ourselves to get on each other's nerves here. After all, this will all be over in an hour or two.
Or 3.
By 6 o'clock, we'll all be home. Bertie will be there waiting for you with a fine big dinner.
Bertie. Yeah, now you're talking, Judge. Good old Bertie. By George, after all the stale chicken I've had to eat in the past week, I could plow into one of Bertie's dinners and really do it justice.
So could I.
I tell you, Judge, there's not a finer cook in the world than our Bertie.
I won't argue with you there, Throckmorton. I still remember the last dinner I had at your house. Oh, it was some time ago. It's truly an experience, Though, as I say, it was some time ago.
Horace, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to be my guest tonight at dinner.
Well, now, let me see. Have I any other engagements? Sunday night?
You haven't any engagements, you old goat, and you know it.
Throckmorton, after consulting my calendar, I'm delighted to find myself in a position to accept your very welcome invitation.
Is he kidding?
Yes. Well, kids, we're going home. By George, I don't know why we ever left it. Going home, going home.
Ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Oh, brother.
Be it ever so
He'll throw it down.
no place like
Well, here we are, kids. Bertie! Oh, Bertie!
Is that you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Hello, Bertie.
Oh, and Leroy and Margie and Judge Hooker. Well, my goodness, I sure am glad to see you.
No gladder than we are to see you, Bertie.
That's right, Bertie.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. I'm mighty glad to see you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, our train was a little late. I hope we haven't spoiled the supper.
Spoiled it.
Yes.
Supper?
Yes.
Mr. Gildersleeve, there ain't no supper to spoil.
Oh,
I didn't expect it till tomorrow.
But I don't understand, Bertie. You just said you were glad to see us.
I am, Mr. Gildersleeve. You arrived in just the nick of time. I was just going to the weekly meeting of my Victory Lodge, and I'm retroactive in my dues.
Oh. Well, here's a little advance on your salary, Bertie.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry about supper, but there ain't a bite of food in this house. Well, now, if you all would excuse me,
Wait a minute, Bertie. Don't I smell chocolate cake?
Yes, by golly. So do I.
Is there chocolate cake in the house, Bertie?
Well, yes, it is. I baked it for the Run Hitler Out of Town rally tonight at the lodge. The party that buys the war bonds with a certain number on it, he gets the cake as a bonus.
Oh, it's a raffle.
Oh, no, sir. Buying a raffle ticket is illegal. But nobody's going to throw you in jail for buying a war bond.
Yeah, maybe you're right. How about that, Judge?
Well, without passing on the constitutional questions involved, I'd like to buy a chance on the cake.
Well, y'all can have the cake for your supper if you want it.
No, Bertie, you take the cake and chase Hitler out of town with it. We'll get along some way.
Gee, I'm hungry. Isn't there anything in the icebox, Bertie?
Not a thing, Leroy. I'm sorry.
Well, never mind, Bertie. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Gildersleeve. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night. Have a good time.
Well, I guess I'll call up Piggy Banks and get invited to his house.
You'll do nothing of the kind, young man. Haven't you any pride?
Sure I have. I don't have to beg, Piggy.
Well, I don't like it. And no hinting now.
Are you kidding? He's my pal.
Hello, pig face.
Oh, pardon me, Mrs. Banks. Is Piggy there? That was his mother.
Oh, no.
Hiya, Pig. Yeah, I just got back. Can I come over for supper?
Yes, Leroy.
Ask if I can come too, Leroy.
Marjorie.
I'm bringing Marge so your sister will leave us alone, Pig. Be right over. Bye.
Well, I'm ashamed of both of you.
Oh, you're not really, Uncle Marge. Goodbye, Judge.
Goodbye, Marjorie. Goodbye, Leroy.
Now, don't you be up late. The very idea.
Oh, I don't think it's so bad, Gildy.
You don't? Well, then how about inviting me to dinner?
All right. May I have the pleasure of your company at dinner, Throckmorton?
I shall be delighted, Horace.
Of course, there's no food at my house either.
Oh.
And the grill at the Summerfield Hotel is closed on Sundays.
Where are you taking me, Judge?
To Peavy's drugstore for a chicken sandwich.
Come on.
as satisfactory, gentlemen?
I guess they'll keep the breath of life in us for a while.
I'm using a new strawberry flavoring now. It's synthetic.
What do they make it out of? Plastics?
Mr. Gildersleeve always has to have his little joke. Nice to see you back, Mr. Gildersleeve. How was the vacation?
So-so, Peavy, so-so. I suppose it does a man good to get away once in a while.
Yes, I've always heard it does. Though I haven't taken a vacation myself in 30 years. Neither has Mrs. Peavy.
Yeah. 30 years with one woman? That's a long time.
Well, no, I wouldn't. Yes, I will, too. It's a long time. The last time I took a vacation by myself was back in the summer of 1913.
Oh, that the summer you got engaged?
No. We were engaged for 5 years before that. Of course, 5 years is a long time, too, but then I believe in long engagements. So does Mrs. Peavy.
Yeah, long engagements, short engagements. As soon as a man lets a woman get a hold on him, his life is over.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Speak for yourself, Gildy.
That's just who I'm speaking for. Gentlemen, from now on, I'm a free agent. Marriage may be all right for some people, but not for yours truly. Because, frankly, I'm just not interested.
Our friend here sounds a little bitter. There wouldn't be a touch of sour grapes in that now, would there, Gildy?
None at all. You're referring to Leela Ransom? Forget her, because I have.
Speaking of Mrs. Ransom...
I haven't given her a thought from that day to this.
Speaking of Mrs. Ransom...
If she were to walk right in here now, it would mean nothing to me. Absolutely nothing.
Well, I hear she may be coming back to Summerfield.
No, sir. Where'd you hear that?
You read the paper, didn't you?
I haven't seen a paper in a week.
Well, then you didn't hear about her husband.
Beauregard? What about him? As if I cared.
Sad. Very sad. But I suppose we all have to go sooner or later.
What do you mean?
He's here today and gone tomorrow.
Peavy, what are you talking about?
It's something we all have to face. We can only hope that when the time comes, we'll be ready.
Peavy, will you stop mumbling and tell me what happened?
Yeah, for the love of Mike, Peavy.
It was in the paper yesterday. Beauregard Ransom passed on as the result of an accident 1 week ago today.
Oh, that poor little girl. Now she's going to need an understanding friend. Dear Diary, got back from my vacation today. Total expenses $110.18. I'll have to watch it a little during September. Was interested to hear from Peavy today that L.R. may be returning to Summerfield. Well, I should happen to run into her on the street. I know exactly how I'll behave. I'll be polite, naturally, but nothing more. She thinks she can take up with me just where we left off 2 months ago. She's sadly mistaken. I'll show her that I'm not to be tossed aside lightly like an old glove. Yeah, it'll be, how do you do, Mrs. Ransom, instead of, hello, Leela. Leela. Oh, Diary, am I going to make a jackass of myself all over again? Good night.
Music heard on this program was under the direction of Todd Sweeten. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, inviting you to listen again next Sunday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Homemakers, I want to tell you about something that's a point saver, a time saver, and a money saver all in one. It's Kraft Dinner, the product that gives you swell macaroni and cheese in just 7 minutes cooking time. A package of Kraft Dinner serves 4 people at a cost of only a few cents a serving. And you get 3 packages. That's 3 separate family main dishes for only 1 single red ration point. Does all this sound too good to be true? Well, try Kraft Dinner. See how the special Kraft Dinner macaroni cooks fluffy tender just in boiling water. See how the Kraft grated lets you whisk cheese flavor through and through the macaroni in a jiffy. Then listen to the folks compliment you on that speedy, delicious macaroni and cheese. If you like, you can mold your hot Kraft Dinner into a ring or timbales and serve with creamed vegetables, fish, chicken, or what have you. Try it soon. Spend 1 single red ration point for 3 packages of Kraft Dinner. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's see how things are going with the Great Gildersleeve. Yes, it's been a long, hard day. A long, hard week. The great man comes trudging home from the office, and hardly has the door opened when word goes out over the grapevine.
Your uncle seems a little tired this evening, Miss Margie, so I wouldn't go cutting up any didos.
Uncie's tired tonight, Leroy, so watch it. You better beat it, Craig. Unc's on a warpath.
Dinner is a silent meal. Marjorie is solicitous of her uncle's wants, and Leroy eats with cautious daintiness. After it's over, the storm cloud, which has been hovering over the dining table, moves into the living room. Gildersleeve flops down in his easy chair. For a moment, he just sits there, and then he begins.
Where's the evening paper? Confound it. Where's the evening paper? I don't ask much of you children, but one thing I do ask. When I come home at night all tired out, I want the evening paper. You hear that, Leroy? Now, where is it?
You're sitting on it.
Oh. Fine place for it. Don't mind me. I'm nobody. I just pay the bills around here, that's all. I come home here all tired out. All I ask is to read the UNO crisis looms. World peace at stake. Little hope in housing shortage seen by officials. Riots in Far East as Manchurian tension grows. War inevitable, says Congressman Rumbauer. Preparation our only hope. Weapons more fearful than atom bombs seen by experts. Found it. Turn on the radio, Leroy.
Okay.
Trouble, that's all they give you. I just won't read it, that's all. I just won't read it. Come home here at night all tired out, I sit down, and what do I get? Trouble. I thought the war was over.
1918, when the world held such hope for the future. I wish that I could hold out such hope today. I cannot. Yes, my friends, it's the old story. The story of man's inhumanity to man. Starvation, pestilence, fear, and hate. These ride the earth today like the four horsemen of the well-known apocalypse, spreading the seeds of war. What's to be done about it? Wait and see. Just wait and see. For we are caught in the grip of an atomic power that is greater than we are, caught like rats in a trap, waiting for that last awful moment. And it will come without warning, my friends. That blinding, searing flash in which the whole world will
Turn it off. Turn it off.
with it. Oh.
What's the matter, Unc?
I can't stand it.
Gosh, it's only a guy on the radio.
Well, I can't stand anymore.
Unky, where are you going?
Oh! Just a question of time, that's all. All you have to do is read the papers. People starving abroad, nations wrangling among themselves. It's just like 1918, only worse. And what can you do about it? Nothing. We're caught here like rats in a trap.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
That's what the fellow said.
Oh, I don't deny that he said it, but how do you know it's true?
Peavy, it was on the radio.
Well, so is Hop Harrigan.
Yes, sir. I don't know, Peavy. This international situation's got me down. Worrying about Russia, worrying about China, worrying about the British Empire. It's got me so I can't sleep nights.
You sleep on your stomach or on your back?
What's that got to do with it? I don't see how you can be so calm, Peavy. Why, the way things are going, don't you realize at any moment a bomb might drop through the roof here and blow this drugstore to smithereens?
Well, let me know if you hear one coming.
I don't understand you. I just don't understand your attitude.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'll tell you. I've got a drugstore to run here. I can't run the British Empire, too.
Oh, an isolationist?
No, just a pharmacist.
Well, maybe you're right, Peavy. I'm so darn sick of the international situation, so darn sick of hearing about it.
That's why you came down here to tell me about it?
Well, it's time we had a little fun, Peavy. That's what the world needs, is a little fun.
Now, I can go along with you there.
Here we've been under a strain all these years. The human mind can stand only so much.
Sometimes I think it can't even stand that.
You know what I'd like to do, Peavy? I'd like to get on the old bus and fill up the gas tank and pile the family in the back seat. Just drive out in the country for a picnic, the way we used to in the old days.
Sounds nice, all right.
And by George, that's just what I'm going to do. Tomorrow's Saturday. I think I'll do it tomorrow, Peavy. How about it? Care to come along?
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, it's pretty early in the year for picnics, isn't it, March?
Who cares?
Paper says rain. Rain and colder.
Let me tell you something, Peavy. Don't believe everything you read in the papers.
Well, the ground will be wet. Too wet to sit on.
Listen, I'm going on a picnic tomorrow no matter what. These fellas are going to blow the world to pieces. Well, the kids and I are going to have one last fling before they do.
I don't know where you get all this talk about blowing the world to pieces.
Don't be a fool, man. All you have to do is read the papers.
Here's a question for you homemakers. Can you name a food that is wonderful served in any course of the meal? The answer is Kraft's cheddar cheese food, Velveeta. Yes, it's one of the most versatile foods you can have in your refrigerator. You can spread it on crackers to serve with soups or appetizers, slice it in thin slivers to glamorize your favorite salad, or serve it with fruit for a delicious dessert. And for main dishes, or as a sauce for vegetables, Velveeta just can't be beat. It's so easy to make a smooth, golden Velveeta sauce. You just melt 1/2 pound of Velveeta in the top of a double boiler. Then stir in 1/4 cup of milk, and there's your sauce. Ready to add rich yet mild cheddar cheese flavor to those vegetables or to dress up leftovers. Grand on fish, eggs, macaroni, and other Lenten main dishes, too. Remember, Velveeta helps supply high-quality, complete protein, milk minerals, food energy, and vitamin A. So for a glorious cheese sauce, for snacks and sandwiches, for a 6 uses, get genuine Velveeta. It's the cheese food of Kraft quality. Now, what about the great Gildersleeve? Well, he's having his own way for once. That is to say, it looks as if he's going on a family picnic in spite of everything, including the family. Here they all are, milling around the front porch, trying to get started.
What about you, Leroy? You ready to go?
Me? I've been ready for hours.
Well, you can't go without a sweater, my boy. I told you that. Now go get one.
I don't see why I need a sweater. It's a perfect day. Perfect? It's freezing.
It's not freezing, Marjorie. It's a fine day.
Then why do I need a sweater?
Because I say so. Get the sweater, Leroy, and comb your hair while you're upstairs.
For a picnic?
For a picnic. Now, you ready, Marjorie?
I guess so. Do I really have to go on this expedition, Unky?
It's a picnic, my dear. We're going to have a wonderful time.
But there won't be anything to do.
There'll be plenty to do. Get outdoors and enjoy the sunshine. Get next to old Mother Nature. And we'll have to build a fire, cook the hamburgers. Plenty to do.
I don't enjoy housework at home, and I don't enjoy it in the woods.
Well, in that case, Leroy and I'll have all the fun of cooking. Unless perhaps Mrs. Ransom would prefer to do it.
Well, maybe you can talk her into it. Can we come home if it rains?
It's not going to rain. I'll get that through your head once and for all. Now start enjoying yourself, confound it.
Okay, I'm having a swell time.
Elsie, do you want me to put the lunch in the back seat?
No, thanks, Bertie. Just set it down here. I'll take care of it. Well, nice and heavy.
I thought you might need something heavy in case it rains.
No danger of that.
Oh, yes, sir. On a cold, raw day, there's nothing like a good solid meal.
But, Bertie.
Hot coffee in the thermos in case you need something to warm you up.
It's not a cold day, Bertie. Marjorie, don't stand there smirking. Go see what's holding up Mrs. Ransom. We've got to get started.
Okay.
I'll get this basket into the car.
Hey, Unc, we all set to go?
Yeah, give me a hand with this, Leroy.
Oh, boy, lunch.
Yeah, lunch.
Leroy, did you put something on your hair?
Yeah, you told me to comb it, didn't you?
What'd you put on it?
Aqua velvet.
That's for after shaving. That's not for your hair.
But it looks good. Water's bad for the scalp. I read that in an ad.
You put water on your scalp. I don't care if you're bald at 15.
Okay.
Now, if I can get this luggage compartment open. What the dickens are all these newspapers doing in here?
Newspapers? Holy cow, those were for the paper drive last fall. You were supposed to leave them at school for me.
Oh, I guess it slipped my mind.
Oh, well, I should worry. I got credit for 40 pounds.
We'll have to do something about that. I don't think...
Look at Leela.
How do you like what I've got on, Throckmorton? It's a play shoe.
Well, let's play. Get those newspapers out of there, Leroy.
Okay. This outfit is supposed to be for winter in Miami. Do you think it's all right for spring in Summerfield, or am I rushing the season?
Oh, I think it's just right, Leela. How do you like my loafer jacket?
Oh, I think it's darling. You look so careless and sporty when you wear clothes like that, Throckmorton.
Well, I feel that way, too.
I suppose I ought to take along a raincoat.
What for? Why, the sun is shining. It was a minute ago, anyway.
I'd never forgive you if my play suit got wet. It might shrink, the girl said at the stall.
I'd like to see that. If it gets wet, I'll buy you a new one, Leela.
Okay, Uncle, you can shove the basket in now.
That's fine, Leroy. And if you'll go get your sister, we can start.
Yeah, we ought to start. Hey, Maud!
I said go, Leroy. G-O.
Well, I guess you heard me. Here she comes. Hurry up, Maud. We're going to start.
All right, let's start.
I'll just put the lunch basket in here. Come on. Leela, you're in front with me.
I was hoping I would be.
Kids in the back. Come on, pile in. Thought we might drive out to those woods just the other side of Salinas.
That's a swell place, Unc.
Yeah, a little stream runs through there somewhere.
Oh, wait a minute, Unc. Here comes Bertie.
Bertie, what does she want?
She's got an umbrella.
We don't need an umbrella. We don't need that, Bertie.
You never can tell, Miss Gildersleeve.
Oh, well, grab it, Leroy. Thanks, Bertie.
You're welcome. Have a good time if possible.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Goodbye, Bertie.
Good night.
Bye. Goodbye, Bertie.
Oh, Throckmorton, wait. Here comes Horace Hooker. Maybe he'd like to go with us.
Oh, he eats too much. We'll need another whole basket if we... Oh, hello, Judge.
Good morning. Morning, all. Where's the fire?
No fire, Judge. Going on a picnic. Care to join us?
A picnic? No, thanks. Not in the middle of winter.
Winter? It's practically April. Just a day for a picnic.
April showers bring May flowers. Anybody can see it's going to rain.
Do you really think so, Horace?
I most certainly do. Where are you going?
Thought we might try the woods over by Salinas.
Oh, that's quite a distance on your tires.
Don't worry about my tires.
Woods are a bad place in a thunderstorm.
I'm not expecting one. And if it should rain, it just so happens I'm enough of a sport so I can stand it. We all are.
You said it. Oh, yeah?
Come on, Judge. Make up your mind. A picnic or an afternoon in the law library?
My mind is made up, thank you. But if you all come down with pneumonia, don't blame me.
Yeah, we won't. Stand back, you old goat. Make way for the younger generation.
Bon voyage, Noah.
Well, here's the place. Woods, grass, little brook. This place has got everything.
It looks wonderful. Only what about the no trespassing sign?
Oh, we won't worry about that. Probably the fellow just doesn't want people shooting his chickens.
Well, maybe we ought to drive a little further, Throckmorton. I'd hate to get chased off.
Don't worry, Leela. If anybody tries to get tough with us, I'll handle it. Come on, everybody out. Get that luggage compartment open, Leroy. By George, I'm hungry already.
Oh, my, isn't that funny?
It's the fresh air.
Oh, it's so warm here in the sun. I declare, Throckmorton, it's almost hot.
Sure, what'd I tell you? And it'll get hotter.
Violet. Oh, Marjorie, aren't they darling? Look, Throckmorton.
What do you know? Violets. Get 10 cents a bunch for those in Chicago. You want a hand with that chow basket, Leroy?
Yeah, I don't think I can handle it alone.
Well, take it easy there. You'll blow a gasket. Now, you got the handle?
Yep.
Here we go. And we'll just put it over here.
Yeah. Hey, there's some swell rocks for a fireplace.
Yeah, just the thing. Let you and me do the cooking, Leroy. What do you say? Give the ladies a treat.
Oh, no, you don't now, boys. I want to do my share.
So do I. I want to cook the hamburger.
Okay, then I'll build a fire.
Well, then I'll get out the sandwiches and see that everything's ready.
Well, happy little family. I think I'll just lie here under the tree. You know, it's a funny thing. After I eat a big lunch at home, I don't feel like moving. Right now, I feel energetic.
So do I.
All right, Leroy, you burn up the paper plates, and I'll pack up the lunch basket. After that, I'll race you down to the creek.
Do you want to help me build a dam?
I might, or even a hut, or possibly both. Come on in, girls. The water's fine.
Rolled up and mud all over your face.
Take off your shoes and stockings and come on in. Come on, Marjorie.
Cold?
Nah, just like Palm Beach.
I noticed your lips are blue.
Yeah, get out of the water, Leroy. No use overdoing it. Back to dry land, everybody. Maybe it does, my boy. Why don't you and Marjorie explore it, huh? I feel the need of a little rest all of a sudden.
Okay, how about it, Marge? We might find the fountain of youth.
That's all you need, Leroy, but come on.
Don't go far, children. We'll have to be starting back before long.
Okay.
What do you want to do, Leela? You like to walk through the woods a little?
I don't feel like walking or anything. I just want to lie here on the grass and listen to the birds.
Okay, that's good enough for me. Let's listen to the birds, huh? No birds. Must be some birds around here. Why don't they sing?
Maybe they don't want to interrupt you.
They're just lazy, that's all. They won't sing. They won't sing.
Oh, they'll start after a while. Birds are shy.
Yeah, birds are shy. Yeah, I never thought of that. Don't know if I'd want to sing myself for a couple of strangers.
Oh, tell me a story, Throckmorton. I think I'd like that just as well as the birds.
Story, eh? Mm-hmm. What kind of story?
Any kind, just so I like it.
Well, I'll tell you a story about Jack-a-Manory.
No, my father used to make me furious with that old Jack-a-Manory.
Yeah, so did mine.
Just for that, you have to tell me a real story.
All right, I'll tell you a real story, Leela. You have to shut your eyes, though.
They're shut.
Well, let's see here. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful little girl with beautiful yellow curls, and she lived in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, I like this.
And when she got to be about 16, she had dozens and dozens of suitors. All the boys from miles around were just crazy about her.
Was her name Leela?
Her name was Leela. Her name was Leela, and she was the toast of Savannah. Huh? At the annual Cotton Planters Ball, she led the cotillion. Mm-hmm. At the Bull Weevil Festival every January, she was the queen. And everybody wanted to marry her, including the son of the lieutenant governor of a nearby state.
Was he the one she loved?
No, don't rush me.
Oh,
It happened that Leela's father was a very rich man.
But he wasn't.
Just listen to the story, honey. Leela's father was a very rich man, and he was determined his daughter must marry a millionaire. But Leela, what did she want? Mm-hmm. She wanted someone who would make her little heart go pit-a-pat just by walking into the room. Mm-hmm. So every time a young man came round, Leela said to herself, maybe this is the one that'll make my heart go pit-a-pat. And she'd go downstairs to meet him, all excited every time. But every time, almost as soon as the young man bowed low and said, "Good evening, ma'am," she knew he wasn't the one.
Well, what about the lieutenant governor's boy?
Oh, he was no good either. In fact, he was a little worse than the others because he was slew-footed. But he was rich, and he was the man Leela's father wanted her to marry. Well, sir, poor Leela didn't know what to do. She told her father she didn't love the lieutenant governor's son, and he said, "You can learn to love him, daughter." She told him she didn't want to get married at all. She just wanted to devote her life to charity. No, her father said, "You've got to marry, and you've got to marry soon. You're 18 already. In another year, you'll be a disgrace to the family."
Poor Leela. What did she do?
She ran away. One night, she climbed out of her bedroom window with a few dollars she'd saved out of her egg money, and she went and bought a railroad ticket. And when she woke up next morning, where do you think she was?
Why?
In Yankee Land. And she started walking down the street, and everyone turned around to look at her. She was so beautiful. And all of a sudden, while she was looking up at one of the lofty 6-story buildings, a man came bustling around the corner and bumped into her. Almost knocked her down.
That's Yankees for you.
But then he apologized, and he told her he was sorry, and asked if she was all right. And as he walked away, what do you think? Her little heart was going pit-a-pat.
Did she know his name?
She didn't know a thing about him, so she ran after him.
Oh, did I?
Right down the street in broad daylight. He didn't know that, of course. But she followed him till he went into the building where his office was, and she followed him right to his office. And what do you think it said on the door?
What?
Water, Commissioner.
Well, then what happened?
He went into his office and worked all day.
Oh.
But that night...
There's a man coming with a big dog and a gun.
What?
Biggest dog I've ever seen. Oh, my goodness.
Now, let's keep cool here. Where's the... Is that a dog? Looks like a horse with fangs. A nice doggy. Oh, he's a fine doggy. Yes, he is. Oh, get away from me.
Down, boy. Take it easy there, fella.
Well, thank you. He was trying to kiss me. Is this your property here?
Yeah.
Well, we were having a little picnic. But if we've done any damage, we'll be glad to...
Oh, no. Glad to have you.
Well...
Hey, like today, everybody should be out here.
Oh, that's awfully kind of you.
Yeah.
Not at all. Drop over any time. Be fish in the creek pretty soon, Sonny. Come on, Prince.
Quite a dog. Say, almost 5 o'clock. I guess we better be starting home, children. Put the stuff in the car, will you?
Okay.
Throckmorton, we were interrupted, remember?
Interrupted? Oh, yeah. Well, to make a long story short, Leela stayed up north and lived happily ever after.
Did she marry the water commissioner?
Oh, no. She found all Yankees made her little heart go pit-a-pat. Come on, let's go home. Put on your old gray bonnet with the blue ribbons on it, and we'll hit old Dobbin to the shade. Through the fields of clover we ride up to Dover on a golden wedding day. By George, this has been a fine day. Yes, sir, a fine day.
What was that?
Well, what do you know? A blowout.
Holy smokes, look at that. Shot to pieces.
Oh, isn't that terrible?
Why, not at all. Just remember, this tire was due.
You said it. Nothing left. You can't even recap it.
I wouldn't want to. Fine, faithful old tire. Right real Rosie, I called her. She carried us all through the war, children. She's earned a rest. Get the jack, Leroy.
Jack, Mike.
Yes. And there's another way to look at it. We've had a pretty good day. The paper said it would rain, and it didn't. That dog could have chewed my leg off, but he liked me. The man could have kicked us off his land, and he turns out to be a nice fellow. On the way home, we get a little blowout.
Well, what better time for a blowout?
Hey, Unc, the spare!
Oh, don't tell me the spare's flat.
No, it's got tread on it.
What a day.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, Peavy. Have you got a 3-cent stamp, old man?
3-cent stamp? Well, yes, yes, I have.
Thanks. Got a letter here I want to get off. No, make it an airmail if you got one there.
Airmail it is.
Yeah, thanks.
By the way, how was the picnic?
Oh, Peavy, it was lovely. Just lovely. Everything worked out. It didn't rain. The sky was clear. The sun was warm. Really felt like spring.
Sounds mighty nice.
Yeah, it was. You can forget how good it is just to be alive, Peavy. You know that? We get so wound up in business and politics, one thing and another. If you ask me, we don't know whether we're coming or going half the time, including me.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you're the last man I'd expect to hear that from.
Well, I did a lot of thinking today, Peavy. Guess I haven't done any of that in a long time either. And I got to thinking while I was lying on the grass there. You know, it's a pretty good old world after all. Or it could be. And anybody who talks about blowing it up, anybody who sits by and let them start another war, the way they're talking in the newspapers. Well, here, I wrote a letter to my congressman. I haven't sealed it yet. I'll read it to you. Honorable George R. Rumbauer, House of Representatives, Washington, D.C. Now, see here, Rumbauer. You call yourself a representative? Well, start representing. We just had a war, and we didn't put you in office to start another one. So get your big feet off the desk and get busy. Or have I got to come down there myself? Because, believe me, Rumbauer...
The Campfire Girls of America are celebrating their 34th anniversary this month, and a proud record they've achieved, too. Praise certainly is due the more than 360,000 members of the Campfire Girls who made such splendid contributions to war service here at home. The aim of the Campfire Girls is to perpetuate the spiritual ideals of the home and to stimulate and aid the formation of habits making for good health and character. Among the Campfire Girls, there's no distinction as to class, race, or creed. These girls learn by doing, and since their beginning in 1912, millions of girls have been given practical training in citizenship and homemaking. They are America's citizens of tomorrow. The Campfire Girls need the continued support of everyone in the community, women and men alike, for youth is the greatest potential for the protection of the American way of life that we aim to preserve. Congratulations to the Campfire Girls from all of us. The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry.
Good night.
It is written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. Leroy, Marjorie, and Bertie are played by Walter Tetley, Louise Erickson, and Lillian Randolph. Shirley Mitchell plays Leela Ransom, Judge Hooker is Earl Ross, and Richard LeGrand is Mr. Peavy. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. Now, a tempting lunchbox suggestion. Combine tangy golden Kraft salad mustard with your favorite cream cheese and salad dressing. You'll find this makes a wonderfully appetizing sandwich spread. For another taste-tingling treat that's sure to score a hit at lunchtime, blend Kraft salad mustard into delicious golden fillings for deviled eggs. And remember, there's also a mustard in the Kraft line for sharper taste. It's the Kraft mustard with snappy horseradish added. Be sure to buy both delicious varieties. Get Kraft quality mustards on your next shopping trip.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet Margarine. Every day, millions of women all over America serve Parquet Margarine because it tastes so good.
To market, to get some Parquet. Home again, try it today. You like it, you love it, like millions who say their favorite margarine.
Parkay, Parquet Margarine, made by Kraft. It's after dinner at the great Gildersleeve's house, and the evening paper has been parceled out to the family. Leroy has the sports section, Marjorie has the fashion news, and the great man has the financial section, which carries the crossword puzzle on the back.
Marjorie,
Yes, Unky?
what's an 8-letter word for an African anteater?
That's aardvark,
Aardvark? What's that?
an African anteater.
Yeah, they eat ants.
I know it, Leroy. How do you spell it, Marjorie?
Aardvark.
That's the way I had it. 2 A's, eh?
Oh, boy. Hey, Unc, let's go fishing at Grass Lake tomorrow.
What?
Look here in the paper. The big fish that was caught. A 90-pound swordfish.
Swordfish in Grass Lake? Let me see that. Leroy, this wasn't caught in Grass Lake. It was caught in Florida.
Sure, but it shows they're biting.
Oh.
Let's go, Unc, huh? Tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock. We'll have a lot of fun.
6 o'clock.
Mr. Banks took piggy fishing last Saturday.
Oh, how many swordfish did they catch?
Well, they didn't catch anything, but they went fishing.
Why don't you take Leroy fishing, Unky?
Now, Marjorie, a fish hasn't been caught in Grass Lake in 3 years. Besides, Leroy has to practice his piano tomorrow morning.
Oh, gosh, can't a little kid have one day off? I practice 10 minutes every day of the week and 2 hours every Saturday. Faithfully.
Faithfully. I have reason to doubt, young man, that you even touched the piano last Saturday.
Sure I did. I must have.
Let's not fib, Leroy. I happened to meet your music teacher on the street, and from her report, I don't think you went near the piano last Saturday.
Well, she's prejudiced.
I put out good money for your music lessons. A small fortune for a very small return. Marjorie, did Leroy practice the piano last Saturday?
I don't know. When it's time for Leroy's 2-hour session, I always leave home.
What?
The same as you do.
Yeah, well, I'll find out if he's practiced. Bertie!
Yes, Miss Gildersleeve?
Please step in here a minute, will you, Bertie?
Oh, gosh, Unc, do we have to call witnesses?
You can't tell those whoppers around here and get away with them, Leroy.
What do you want, Mr. Gildersleeve? I got a sink full of dishes out there.
Well, I got a little boy full of fibs in here, Bertie. Leroy thinks he should go fishing tomorrow. Now, tell me, did he practice the piano last Saturday morning?
Well, I'm usually busy in the kitchen, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I know, Bertie, but you can hear Leroy playing in the kitchen. You can hear that touch all over the house. Did you hear it?
Well...
Yes or no, Bertie?
Well, I usually have the window open on Saturday morning. A lot of ambiguous noises coming in and out.
Bertie, did you hear the piano?
Well, I heard something.
You did?
I heard music of some kind. Of course, it could have been the Good Humor Man.
All right, Bertie. Very evident Leroy did not practice his piano. What do you think I should do with a boy like this?
I think you should take him fishing.
Oh, my goodness.
So do I.
So do I.
Well, I'm not taking you fishing until you learn to tell the truth.
Hello, Judge. Come in.
Good evening, Marjorie. Hello there, Leroy.
Hi.
What's the matter with Leroy?
He's in the doghouse tonight.
Oh? Is the Lord of the Manor in?
He's upstairs shaving, Judge. He'll be down in a minute.
Well, I thought maybe we might have a little game of checkers.
He has a date.
Oh?
And I don't have time to play checkers tonight, Judge.
So I see. You did a nice job of shaving, Gildy. Smell nice, too.
Don't go sniffing, you old goat. That bay rum is not for your benefit, believe me. Sorry I can't play checkers with you, Horace. Good night.
Well, as long as you're leaving, I'll walk a ways with you.
I'm just going next door to Adeline's, Judge.
Well, I'll walk that far with you. I don't think I should go in, though.
I don't either. Good night, Marjorie.
Good night.
Good night, Leroy. Leroy, say good night.
What seems to be the matter with Leroy?
Uncle Mort won't take him fishing in the morning.
You bet I won't.
Why don't you take him, Gildy?
It's none of your business, Judge.
Or do you think you'll be too tired to get up and go fishing in the morning? After all the angling you'll do tonight.
I'm not taking him for a very good reason, Horace. I caught him in a lie about practicing his piano.
Leroy, a lie?
Yes.
Gosh, Unc, you don't have to tell everybody. It was just a little white one.
Little white ones grow into big ones, Leroy. If I've told him once, Judge, I've told him 100 times, anyone who tells lies is bound to get into trouble. And you're in trouble.
Oh, that's too bad. I hate to see the boy unhappy.
That's all right. I think I'll go up to bed.
Now, Leroy, don't you go to bed feeling sorry for yourself.
I'm not feeling sorry for myself.
This hurts me more than it does you.
It does not.
Wait a minute, Leroy. Wait a minute. Why go to bed so early? I'll stay and play a game of checkers.
Checkers? Well, if you don't mind, Judge, I'd rather go to bed.
What?
Good idea. Go to bed, Leroy, and stay there.
Okay. But Piggy's father took him.
And I don't want to hear any more about fishing. You understand?
Yes, sir.
That boy.
Oh,
What is it now, Leroy?
Good night.
Good night, Leroy. Let's get out of here, Judge. I hate to be hard on the boy.
Gracious, Throckmorton, where's your mind tonight?
Huh?
Well, it certainly hasn't been on me. I'm just sitting here like a knot on a log.
Certainly it has, Adeline.
No, it hasn't. Your mind hasn't been on me at all. Come on, let's do something. Let's sing a song.
Sing? Oh, Adeline.
Come on.
Well, that might boost my spirits a little.
Well, come along then. I was at the dime store today and picked up some Jolson music. Let's start off with Sonny Boy.
Sonny Boy?
I bought it with you in mind. I imagine you sung it many times to little Leroy as he climbed upon your knee.
Little Leroy. If you don't mind, Adeline, I'd rather not sing Sonny Boy tonight.
Oh, come on now, the introduction.
Well, climb upon my knee, Sonny Boy. You are only 3, Sonny Boy. You've no way of knowing, there's no way of showing what you mean to me, Adeline.
Oh, go on, that's beautiful. You sound so sincere.
Well, when there are gray skies, I don't mind the gray skies. You make 'em blue, Sonny Boy. Friends may forsake me, let 'em all forsake me. You pull me through, Sonny Boy. I don't feel like singing anymore, Adeline.
Well, what's the matter, Throckmorton?
It's so sad.
Gracious.
I think I better go home.
But, Throckmorton, it's only 9 o'clock.
I know, but I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
What for, for heaven's sake?
Take little Leroy fishing and have a lot of fun.
I declare.
Hey, Unc, watch the cork on my other pole, will you? While I try worms again.
You do the fishing, Leroy, and don't rock the boat while I'm reading.
Oh, what are you reading?
This paper that Bertie wrapped our lunch in. She would wrap it in the want ad section.
Too bad, Unc.
I don't know. Here's a place where we can buy fish, and it's on the way home. Let's go, Leroy. Let's go. We've been out here 3 hours, and nothing's happened.
But you know how fish are, Unc. They travel in schools. They'll be by pretty soon.
Yes. My neck's getting sunburned. Let's go home.
Oh, Unc. Why didn't you turn around in the boat?
I did that when my nose turned red. Let's pull up anchor, Leroy. Everybody has left the lake.
Just one more hour, Unc.
No, Leroy.
See? There's a boat still on the lake, a motorboat.
It's probably out joyriding.
No, there aren't any girls in the boat.
Could be the game warden, then.
Heck, we haven't any fish to show him.
Hope he stops. Maybe he can convince you there aren't any fish in this lake. Yeah, it's the warden, all right. They always make a lot of noise around fishermen. Now I bet he says, what are you doing, fishing?
Hello there.
Hello.
What are you doing, fishing?
I am.
Having any luck, Sonny boy?
Sonny boy.
No. Has anybody else caught anything?
They haven't started biting yet today, but I know they're here.
Yes.
I suppose you have your license.
Well, the boy doesn't need one. He's only 12, but size 16.
Yeah.
Stand up in the boat for the warden, Leroy.
Never mind. How about you?
Me? I'm not dumb enough to come out here fishing.
You're out here.
I just rode my nephew out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, let's not get tough with the game warden, big boy.
Well, let's not get tough with me either, Buster. I happen to be Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, the water commissioner.
I don't care if you're King Neptune. You have to have a license to fish.
I'm not fishing.
There's nothing I like better than to slap a fine on guys who get tough with a game warden.
There's nothing I like better than to turn off the water of guys who get tough with the water commissioner. Where do you live?
I have my own well. Just don't let me catch you fishing.
I'm not fishing.
I've heard that story before.
Him and his big bag. Well, that does it, Leroy. We're pulling up anchor. We're going home.
Okay. Hey, Unc! The cork went down. I got a bite.
Leroy, what did I tell you about telling you? Pull it up, Leroy.
Say, it looks like a bat. A big one, too.
Oh, Leroy, he's a beauty.
Oh, boy.
Landing, Leroy. Oh, not on me.
Sit on him, Unc, before he pops out.
Sit on him? Okay. Throw your line back, Leroy. It may be a school game. Hey, there's one on your other line. Grab it, Leroy.
They're biting. He's even bigger.
You better let me pull him in, Leroy. Give me that pole.
I can't. You haven't got a license. You know what the warden said.
Oh, well, horse him in then, Leroy. Hey, there's one waiting on your other line.
We'll be back with the great Gildersleeve in just a minute. The other day, Marjorie stopped me just long enough to tell me about a party she was giving that night.
All the girls are coming over, and Bertie's going to make stacks of waffles.
I'll bet I know what's going on top of those waffles. Parquet margarine, right?
Naturally. Bertie always serves parquet.
Smart gal, that Bertie. Delicious parquet is the perfect topping for rolls, muffins, and pancakes, as well as waffles and bread. It's the favorite spread in millions of American homes.
Parquet even improves Bertie's waffles, and that's going some.
That fresh, wholesome parquet flavor always makes good things taste better. Parquet is nourishing, too. Only choice farm products go into parquet, and each tasty pound is fortified with 15,000 units of essential vitamin A. Another important thing, parquet, a margarine of Kraft quality, actually costs less today than it did a year ago.
Well, I'm glad Bertie is serving parquet as a topping, simply because it tastes so good.
That's the reason millions of women serve parquet margarine. It tastes so good. Parquet is a better buy for both bread and budget. Try it, friends. Next time, ask for parquet margarine. That's Parkay, made by Kraft. Well, let's get back to things in Summerfield. A car is pulling up in front of the great Gildersleeve's house, occupied by one sunburned uncle, one happy nephew, and 8 very surprised fish.
Gee, thanks for taking me fishing, Unc. I had a wonderful time.
That's fine, Leroy.
Boy, 8 great big bass. And I caught every one of them.
Let's not gloat, Leroy.
Oh. Sorry you didn't have a license, Unc.
It's quite all right. I was just along for the ride. Let's get out, Leroy, and take your fish with you.
Oh, but you didn't catch any. You can have them.
What?
So long, Unc.
Leroy, you come back here and clean these fish.
Oh, gosh, Unc. I have to go practice my piano. After you were so nice to take me fishing, I wouldn't think of skipping my piano lesson.
Leroy.
And I'll practice the full 2 hours, Doc, like you said.
I can't clean fish. I can't stand the way they look at me with those big brown eyes. Bertie.
You call me, Miss Gildersleeve?
Bertie, guess what I have here?
I don't have to guess. I can see. Fish.
Now, Bertie, you're very much in favor of us going fishing.
I was in favor of you going, but I didn't think you'd be bringing any back.
Well, take them along, Bertie. We'll have them for dinner.
We'll have them for dinner, all right, just as soon as you get them clean.
Yeah. But, Bertie, Leroy and I caught the fish. Now it's up to someone else. This calls for a little cooperation.
Well, you can count on Bertie to cooperate. There ain't nobody can cook fish any better than Bertie can, anytime you get them clean.
I know, Bertie, but you don't...
That's one thing I'll say for me. Nobody can cook fish any better than Bertie, anytime you get them clean.
Bertie, that's not cooperating.
Mr. Gildersleeve, when I cook steak, I don't dress no steer. You know who takes care of that? Somebody way back in Kansas City. They don't look to Bertie.
Bertie, I can't take these fish to Kansas City. They've got to be...
That's right. They got to be clean before they cook. Now, stand here ready to cook them just any time you get them clean.
Oh, my goodness.
That's one thing you can count on from Bertie. Cooperation.
Cooperation. Guess I better take them around in the back. Maybe I can find some place to bury them. Leroy doesn't like fish anymore. Hello, Adeline.
I'm sorry if I sounded a little upset last night when you left so early, but I thought it was marvelous of you to take Leroy fishing.
So did I, last night.
Oh, look at the fish. Did you catch all those, you great big fisherman, you?
Well, Leroy, Leroy and I did have a pretty successful morning.
Well, I'm so proud of you, Throckmorton, and gracious, you got such a gorgeous tan, too. On your neck and your cute little nose.
Mm-hmm. Don't touch it.
Oh, I wish I had my camera so I could take pictures of you holding those fish. I never saw such big ones. What are they, flounders?
Yeah. Flounders? No, I just sat on this one.
Well, they're beautiful, Throckmorton.
Bass. They are pretty nice, aren't they?
Well, I won't keep you. I imagine you want to get cleaned up.
Cleaned up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I may just go downtown for a minute with the fish.
Hi, Commish. How's the water department today?
Oh, hello, Floyd. What do you think of these?
Hey, bass, they're beaut.
Yeah, quite a string.
Say, ain't you liable to get into trouble seining fish out of your reservoir like that?
Floyd! There are no fish in my reservoir.
That's only kidding, Commish.
Yeah, these come from Grass Lake.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any there either. Did you catch all those yourself?
Well, true sportsman doesn't like to gloat, Floyd. Who do you suppose caught him?
Well, gosh, why didn't you ask me to go?
Took the boy along.
Oh, you took the kid out, huh? Great stuff, Commish. Did he catch any?
Oh, yes.
How many?
Well, as a matter of fact, he caught exactly this many.
Well, I'll be darned. I didn't know there was biting.
Gotta know how to catch them, Floyd. Look at this big one. Ever see a gamer-looking fish?
He's gamey, all right.
Huh?
I don't want to rush you out of the shop, Commish, but you're going to take him home now?
What? Well, I had him home, but nobody was very interested in him.
It wasn't? Hey, I got an idea. Lovey's out of town. Why don't we have a fish fry over to my house tonight?
Fish fry?
Sure, invite all the Jolly Boys over. It's Saturday night. We'll throw a wing ting.
Sounds great. I'll go around and invite the Jolly Boys.
Okay.
And leave the fish here for you to clean.
Sure, that... Wait a minute.
Well, Floyd, you're handy with a razor. You can scale them in a jiffy.
Me, a licensed barber, scrape fish? What do you want me to do, lose my professional standing?
But, Floyd...
What kind of clientele do people think I got? Come in here and find fish scales all over the floor.
But they have to be clean, Floyd. And the man who furnishes the fish shouldn't have to clean them.
Okay, you caught them. I furnished the house. Let somebody else clean them. How about the peeve?
Peavy?
Yeah, he's got the equipment there at the soda fountain. I'll bet he could clean them between customers.
If. I don't know if Peavy will go for that, Floyd.
You can convince him, Commish. And don't wait too long. Them fish are getting pretty tired.
Huh?
Come on, I'll show you out the door.
Should have a lot of fun at Floyd's tonight. I can never get these fish cleaned. Better keep them behind my back till I find out how Peavy feels about these things. Hello, Peavy.
Well, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Beautiful day, Peavy.
That's so?
Yes, been beautiful all day.
You don't say.
You bet. The air's warm. Birds have been singing. The fish have been biting.
I've been too busy to notice.
Huh? What are you doing, Peavy?
I'm working a crossword puzzle.
Crossword puzzle?
Hey, Mr. Gildersleeve, what's an 8-letter word for African anteater?
Oh, that's aardvark. Everybody knows that.
I didn't.
It starts with 2 A's. A. Wait a minute, Peavy. You're a little behind on your puzzles. That's yesterday's.
Yes, I know that, Mr. Gildersleeve. I always work yesterday's puzzles.
What?
Then if I really get stuck, I can always look up the answer in today's paper.
Oh, my goodness. Peavy, put down that puzzle and take care of your customers.
Oh, pardon me. What can I do for you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, nothing. Peavy went out to Grass Lake this morning.
Yeah? What for?
To fish.
Any luck?
Any luck? Take a look at these, Peavy. Did you ever see a more beautiful string of fish?
Never in my drugstore. Did you catch all of those?
Did I catch them? Well, here they are.
Would you mind keeping them below the counter, Mr. Gildersleeve? I never cared very much for fish.
Oh? Well, that's too bad, Peavy. The Jolly Boys were going to have a big fish fry tonight. I'm furnishing the fish. Floyd's furnishing the house. But I guess you wouldn't care to come.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
You would? Well, great. Then I imagine you'd like to cooperate with us and clean the fish.
No, I wouldn't say that either. I'll tell you what I will do, though. I'll furnish the cokes.
The cokes? But who's going to clean the fish, Peavy?
Have you tried Chief Gates down at the jail? He's a nice, amiable, jolly boy, the chief.
Say, he might clean them.
He probably has an empty cell you can use. And I don't imagine the prisoners are in any position to object.
Good idea, Peavy. Bring the cokes, and we'll see you at Floyd's tonight.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve. I wouldn't be surprised if Leroy caught those fish.
Yes, nice job you're doing there, Chief.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. The least I can do is clean them after you caught them. You must be quite a fisherman to pull in big ones like these.
Well, you got to know how to do it.
How'd you happen to go out, Commissioner?
Leroy wanted to go, and I nearly didn't take him. Discipline.
Nothing serious, I hope.
Oh, no. Just caught him in a little white lie about his piano practice.
Well, you have to watch those little lies. Sometimes they grow pretty big.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen.
The game warden.
What are you doing here in the cell, Chief?
Cleaning fish? How are you, George?
Fine. Just came in to report a few game law violators. Well, hello, Water Commissioner.
Oh, hello, Mr. Warden.
Hey, that's a beautiful string of bass you caught there, Chief.
Well, I'd like to say I caught them, but that wouldn't be the honest thing to say. Mr. Gildersleeve here caught them.
Gildersleeve, I love to catch up with a guy who gets tough with a game warden. The idea. A city official fishing without a license.
What's this, Commissioner?
Well, come to think of it, Chief, I didn't really catch these fish.
But I thought you
I didn't say I caught them, Chief. I just didn't say I didn't. Little Leroy caught them.
Leroy? I don't see how a little tyke like him could pull in big fish like these.
But, Chief...
Water Commissioner, I'd like to ask you a few questions in the Chief's office.
Now, wait a minute. Chief, you believe me?
Mr. Gildersleeve, I think I'd like to wipe my hands of this whole thing. Do you realize what an embarrassing position you've placed me in?
But...
The chief of police cleaning illegal fish.
They're not illegal, Chief. I wasn't even fishing. Call Leroy. He'll tell you the truth.
All right. I'll call the boy. I want this cleared up as much as you do.
I'm innocent. I've got a witness.
You better have.
Fellas.
Hello?
Leroy, this is Mr. Gates.
Oh, hi, Chief.
There seems to be a little discussion downtown about who caught those beautiful fish today.
Yeah?
At first, your uncle led me to believe he caught them.
He did?
Now then, who really caught them?
Well, Unc caught them.
Oh! Give me that phone, Chief. Leroy, you caught those fish and you know it.
Sure, Unc, but if you want me to tell a little white lie for the fellas downtown, that's okay with me.
Oh, Leroy.
We'll see if Gildersleeve can get out of that one in just a minute. If you've never served parquet margarine, lady, try it. You'll love that wholesome, fresh flavor. You'll join the millions of women who have found that parquet is the perfect topping for bread, rolls, and muffins, for pancakes and waffles. Parquet is made from only the choice products of fine American farms, and each tasty pound is fortified with 15,000 units of vitamin A. It's a favorite spread for America's bread, and it's the spread that's winning you friends every day. Millions of women first tried it because they knew it was economical. It's now their day-in, day-out favorite because it tastes so good. Next time, ask for Parquet Margarine. Parkay, made by Kraft.
Gosh, Unc, I thought I was giving you a break.
You nearly gave me a fine, Leroy. Remember, always tell the truth.
Sure.
Yes, sir. You can't go wrong if you tell the truth.
Yeah, now eat your fish. I think we should all toast Leroy, the mighty fisherman.
Yeah, that's a good idea. No, wait, gentlemen. I propose that we sing a song for our honored guest and provider, the young Isaac Walton, who fared
Now,
forth with
Judge, I
loud
thought
real-
you said a song, not a speech. Hey, how about he's a jolly good fella?
Okay, put on a jolly good fella.
Leroy, we'll do the singing. Do you want all the credit?
Here we go.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. Leroy's a jolly good fellow. My boy, good night, folks. That nobody can deny.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. Adeline Fairchild by Miss Una Merkel. The show was written by John Elliott and Andy White with music by Jack Meekin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Louise Erickson, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Richard LeGrand. This is John Wall saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
If you're a homemaker who likes to save money, listen to this. A stainless steel cake and pie knife with a sparkling 6-inch serrated blade and a handle of gleaming agatron. An honest $1.25 value, it's yours for only 35 cents and one top label from a package of Pabstet, the delicious cheddar cheese food. It's the perfect cake and pie knife for your table, perfect for kitchen use. Send 35 cents and one Pabstet package top label to the Phoenix Pabstet Company, Box 1723, Chicago 77, Illinois. Got that? 35 cents, one Pabstet label. The address again, Phoenix, Phoenix, Pabstet Company, Box 1723, Chicago 77.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.